Okay. Kathy, presumably Jen's coming in. Is anybody else coming back? Jason, Richard Ryan? Anybody? Hello, hello, Jack. Jack,
Oh, oh, he might not have audio.
Jack. Hello, Jack. Where's Jack?
Okay, I'm taking them off because they weren't working.
Damn it. Um, presumably
Kathy,
Jen will be showing up soon. Anybody else showing up? Anybody else sticking around for the last one? Angel, Jason, anybody?
yeah, I got some feeders put out there. In fact, I ain't next to doing yet.
Okay, Angel is in, so I'll send him one.
Sweet.
Yep, he said, let him in.
Okay, there's Angel.
I'm checking with Doug, my Dougie. It's funny how I've gotten like to this weird point with you author types to where I don't just call you like Jeff or Doug or where it's like no, it's Jeffy, my Jeffy over here.
There's Jen. There's
There's
that.
Hey.
All right.
my lead.
Oh yeah.
Whoops.
All
Hey,
righty
Joe.
then.
How are you?
And beware, the drinking has begun.
Oh shit, that's what I forgot to get.
That's on
Oops.
you.
Angel Lynn.
All righty.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you realize we have done a show that has so far lasted, was this 4
We're
hours?
4 hours into it now.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is the 5th hour.
Starting
Yep,
with
and
there. Wow.
we just kept going and going and going. And
With the
we
Energizer
haven't
Bunny.
announced the additional contests or anything here recently.
No, we haven't had any contests. We are going to be auctioning off the collector, the signed copies of the collector, during the padded room. Contest? I don't know. You
I
guys want to give away
posted.
some swag?
Well, I posted an opportunity for people who may want to die off in a book.
There you go.
Mm.
So on the Asylum of Fear, since I am
Okay.
writing my first book, I posted give me the way to save your group. Give me a good scenario where you're the hero, be the hero, you save your group, but you have to die.
Of course.
So
It goes
that
without saying.
yep, that is something that's going on right now. Um and I'll be picking the winner tomorrow. So I'll have time to do this podcast, and I have time to read all the stuff, and then I'll have time to pick the winner tomorrow. But it'll be in my very first breakout book. So would
Awesome.
would love to see some stuff in there. And the only rule, there's no rules. The only rule is that you have to die. That's it.
Horribly.
Horribly. Give me
If
your
you're going to
best.
die, it may as
Give
well
me
be
your
horribly.
best,
Nope.
gruesome, most disgusting. Let's try and see if we can rival Meryl David.
He's done some good shit with
That's
killing.
what I'm saying. See if we can rival.
God, he has done some good shit with killing.
Okay, we got Jason in there now.
But
Hey,
Mary-
I already responded to you. I gave you the rough outline. Do with it what you will.
Okay. Who's a good boy?
I did it quickly because there's a supernatural reference in there.
Of course there is.
Yeah,
Yay!
come on.
Bonus points for supernatural reference, by the way.
Alrighty then.
over here trying to find some more people to jump in on this damn thing.
Yep, we got room
I-
for
I
3
did.
more, actually.
I did email Doug Fraser
Okay.
because he can't get it. Like it's not working very well via Messenger, so I emailed it to him.
Okay.
So maybe he'll be hopping on here, hopefully.
Any other person, you would have said something about not being able to get it up, and you would have just ran with that.
Oh no, I reserved those for you there, Strap-on King.
All right, listen here, you fucking shit.
Well, speaking of strap-on, I was wondering what happened to your unicorn hat.
I took it off. I didn't want Jason to be intimidated by my horn.
That's what I was looking forward to. He's got horn envy.
I swear to God, I can't picture that happening, but now that it's there,
There's video proof. There's video proof. So, but yes, I didn't want Jason to get envious of how big my horn was.
I'm figuring myself in my manhood. Thank you very much.
All right, well, you monsters do realize that a brother's creed is kind of a more subtle approach to the zombie apocalypse.
Oh my bad.
All that, you know.
I'm guessing there are no strap-ons in it.
This poor kid in his virgin ears. I'm so sorry, Josh.
The only time any of that
I made a
word
baby,
or-
so
the only time that word or subject scares me is if she's in the same room. Okay? Because she has a really sick, demented set of things that amuse her, and I am so glad
That's so true.
Although I totally now understand why you wear the pants in the relationship.
Now, Josh, you're from Alaska, correct?
yes, yep, born and raised.
What part?
Wasilla, and then we did. We spent our spring, summer, falls in the Chugach Mountain Range at a hunting lodge.
Yeah, I spent 2 years up in Juneau
Oh,
working buoys from Ketchikan to Skagway.
He's a
oh
coast.
wow!
And then on the polar icebreaker I was on, we went over the top of North America. So I got to see, I didn't visit, but I got to see the bustling metropolis that is Tuktoyaktuk, Alaska.
Wow,
Way up at the top.
way up there. Wow.
Is that like the last city in America before you hit the Arctic?
So it's above the Arctic Circle.
Wow.
It's above the Arctic Circle.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
I
That's
just like
cold.
the name, Tuktoyaktuk.
They got some good names. Like there's Ninana, there's Iliamna's not that bad. There's the Shoshana River, but it's spelled Shishiana. Yeah, there's some cool. There's some really weird ones too.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird names down in Southeast.
Yes.
Kootstahoo. And
Yep.
my personal favorite, there's in some places in the world, because there are other places with this name, in some places in the world it's pronounced Revilla Gigata. But in Alaska, it's pronounced Revilla Gigata. I don't know why, but
Huh.
very
Interesting.
bizarre names. So tell us about you, Chad.
Oh.
Chad.
So let's see. Let me just cough up all that delicious spring allergies.
Excellent.
Gotta love that. So yeah, born and raised in Alaska. Did some time in Colorado, some time in Montana. Now in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, getting ready to move to northern Wisconsin if we can get our the house we're trying to get. And started writing. Oh, how long ago was it now? Started writing in middle school, but published my first book in my series about five years ago. And finished that first series, my zombie series, and now I'm working on a fantasy trilogy.
Cool.
Yep.
Now, have you thought about doing like a lit RPG, anything like that?
So yes, because I love gaming. And
Oh yeah, you do.
Yes, exactly. Angel knows. And I love the genre. I love the idea of it, and I have an idea for one. Actually, me and a buddy were going to co-write it, and he's since got a more full-time job and can't help.
Yeah,
out
I think I
anymore.
remember something like that.
Yes, yep. Me and RJ. Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep, exactly. So we were going to do that, and so we have all the world building done. But I did do a Kindle Vella story that is kind of post-apocalyptic lit RPG.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So I tried the whole Kindle Vella thing. Didn't find much. I mean, I've got a decent sized newsletter, so I thought there'd be some amount of success.
Yeah, well,
because I already have a following. But
to be fair, Josh, I mean, Kindle Vena is more of a romance thing. Romance is
see,
bigger than
that
Vena.
would make a lot of sense because I got a
doesn't
little
work for
bit
lit
from
RPG. No,
Yeah,
in
no.
fact, Josh, to further my point, there was a post in lit RPG books in one of the big groups of the lit RPG genre, and a lot of people don't like Kindle Vena in the genre. They absolutely despise it.
Oh.
Well, there's not a lot of damn gymnastics.
Yeah, I tried putting a horror book. I tried putting a horror book up there in Venmo. Just nothing. Didn't go anywhere. I made like $20.
Yeah, see, I don't know. It's just
Now,
it might
lit
get
RPG
big.
is bigger in
but-
Kindle Unlimited.
Yes. Yep. Really big there.
Wait, let's call her out. She's hiding out in the darkness over here. Kathy, what the hell you doing? And look at the damn light. You're up there looking all blue and shit like you're having fucking zombies or something.
Well, I'm kind of hiding out. Whoop. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm in my brother-in-law's computer room and they're doing stuff and there's no overhead light.
Well, yeah.
And we're working on grilling stuff and like that. So, because the family's coming later.
Aye.
And I'm just listening.
Here, do you got some questions for any of these crazy people we have here before you?
Not yet.
Oh, she's listening. She's on site.
I'm listening though, because now I've heard some crazy shit.
Sell your stories, man. Let's fucking start with the guests. Tell your stories, man. Get her interested.
Oh, so how to start? I mean, it's I've got a couple different ways, and it's like, I'm never fully satisfied trying to. It's hard. It's easy to sell, at least for me to sell my books. But it's not easy for me to talk about them at first. So
That's what I'm looking for right now.
Yep.
That's fair for anyone.
Why she should get your damn book.
Yep. So Zombie Apocalypse, it's slow, shambling zombies. And it starts off following two brothers as the zombie apocalypse is happening around them, and they gather a group of other survivors around them as they're trying to get to their wilderness lodge in Alaska. The whole concept started when me and my brother used to do a lot of traveling, and we thought about what would we do if the zombie apocalypse happened? Like, what would our plan be? And I don't think it's actually going to happen personally, but I'm going to at least be somewhat prepared because at the end of the day, you never know. We've seen crazier things in the last 2 years. So, and so we came up with this idea, and it just kind of spawned a story. And so the two brothers are heavily based off my brother and I, and it's just their travels to the wilderness of Alaska as they gather a group around them, and things get they go into it being like, oh man, this is going to be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yep. And then as the apocalypse goes on, they're like, okay, wait, no, this sucks. This is kind of the end of the world. This is not fun anymore. And so, yeah, exactly. So it was a fun shift because just me as a person, I thought it would be kind of cool. And then as I wrote it out in a book, I'm like, okay, no, this would be terrible. I mean, granted, you get to shoot a lot of ammo at moving targets, but that's where the fun ends. So as they're going, as the story's going on, they're gathering a group around them, and it's about trying to just find hope and camaraderie and brotherhood, and hold on to that as they're going through the end of the world, and just having to fight zombies, fight people, and do things that they wouldn't otherwise. And as they're going by book 2, I was only going to be one book, and then it spawned into 5. And then very short stories. Yeah, it's exactly. It's always like, oh, this is going to be short, and then it's like, nope, this is 5 books now. And so when I did that, when I started book 2, my only goal was to be like, okay, what is it going to take to break these two characters down? And that was kind of like my goal going into it. And the first brother, he broke down in book. I guess it'd be by the end of book 2. Didn't take him long. And the other one, it took me till book 5 to break him down. just with various situations and stuff. And so it was a lot of fun. I mean, I just love the concept of what would we do to protect our families, and what would we do to protect our loved ones, and how far would we go? Like, and I love that concept, and that's kind of where the books started and where they kind of went. And I like to look at that in a very, I like to think, authentic way of like, oh yeah, there's some repercussions to all this. And while they are running around in some scenes like an action movie, just freaking you shooting a saw off the hood of an armored vehicle, like when it ends, it's like, okay, we just killed a bunch of people. How are we going to deal with that? Like what does that do to us as we're going through this? Like, yeah, it was it was necessary, but like now we got to live with it. And so not getting like too depressing into it, or too like they're thinking nonstop, oh my gosh, what have we done? It's just more like, okay, what if, and the different ways that people of faith, people without faith, what they hold on to get them through those situations. And I have one character who, because I write the two brothers, I write them from a Christian perspective, but I've got one of the characters that he doesn't have that faith, and his main drive is his daughter. So that's what he does. That's how he gets through these situations. Is he wants to protect her. He will instantly sacrifice himself for her. I've got another character. She doesn't have any kind of faith, and so her main goal is survival. She will survive no matter what the cost. And that was really fun in book 3, because I got to take her to some dark places, just with what she was willing to do to survive, and to do it in a way that's like, it puts her in a gray area of like, is she a bad guy? Is she a good guy? Like it's more of like, I mean, I consider her more of like that anti-hero kind of vigilante. But like I left it kind of open to like, even she doesn't know like if it was all for the right reasons. So yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that in Zombie fiction. That they go and they kill all these zombies. They feel nothing about it. There's no repercussions. There's no PTSD. There's none of that. That just, to me, that's so far away from reality. That how can you kill what used to be people by the hundreds and not suffer some kind of, I don't know, angst? How do you not feel that?
If I'm a video game guy, hell yeah. If I got a machine gun, I can mow down a whole bunch of folks I used to know. But now, if I got to get a person, that might go a bit.
I ain't at 240, but I mean, we go with 235.
Yeah.
So 117 hours.
Yeah. So
I'm sitting here judging myself on that whole thing because it's like, it really wouldn't bother me that much.
I'm thinking the same thing. I guess it's probably because, I look at them like they're not human anymore.
Well, it's not just that. You know me better than these guys. If you ever put me in a situation where it's me or them, if I got people I'm looking out for, I'm getting out of there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to feel bad about it.
No, not yet.
Oh,
okay.
But you still would have some kind of mental repercussions for it. I think
you're
is what
still
Jeff's getting at.
human.
Yeah.
Because even though, even just in war, while we might be fighting against someone who they do bad things to their own people, we're still killing humans, but we still have that in our head that they're not on the right side, and therefore it's justified. But you still see so many warriors with all types of mental health conditions. And I mean, I think you would still, while I'd like to believe that I am tough and I am strong and I'm a strong woman, I can handle myself, I can shoot a gun and blah blah blah, yeah, I can kill zombies. I think eventually, at first, it would wear on you that these people, especially if it was my child or a family member, I don't know if I could separate the fact that, okay, they got bitten, they're no longer human, they're not there anymore.
Right.
That's still, I see that face. No matter how decrepit it is, that's still my mom. That's still my daughter, and I think it would it would break you, I think, a lot quicker than what we think. But then I
Oh
think
yeah.
we'd get over it by hardening ourselves and just keep going on and on and on. And after having to do that close relative kill, whether it's a significant other, family member, what have you, I think you would have no more feelings after that.
Oh, if I
Well,
had
yeah, but even without the
oh,
even without the the emotional impact of killing people, just the tension alone, that nonstop tension
Yes.
Oh yeah,
has got to have an effect on people.
Yeah, you would snap. You're always in like, what is it? Like condition one or whatever. Like you're ready to go at all
always
times.
on high
yeah.
alert, and that's actually an issue that corrections officers, police officers, firefighters, first responders in general, that is usually one of their issues when they're doing their job, is that they're on high alert constantly all the time, and you can never get over that.
Well, you actually do, but the last 5 years I was in the Coast Guard, I was a search and rescue controller, which is basically a 911 operator on
Uh-huh.
steroids. And any monkey can do the job, but it takes a particular kind of monkey to do it without losing your freaking mind.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that I'm at my best when all hell is breaking loose around me.
Yep.
I'm not. That's not bragging or anything.
No.
That's how it is.
Right. And there are some people that are like that
And I thought,
do really well.
and I thought that the stress really didn't bother me at all. But then when I stopped doing it,
Yep.
I was having a conversation with my dad about a year later, and he said he could actually hear the difference in my voice.
Yeah. Yep. Just I've stopped being a corrections officer just over the last couple of years. 2020 was the last time I was a corrections officer, and it was around about 7 years that I was a corrections officer before that. I didn't get too much of the garbage, not like somebody who's been in it for 20 years or even 10, 15 years. However, there was a huge difference once I quit working as a corrections officer. Huge difference in my behavior, my mannerisms, how much I even smiled. It was everything. And you never realize it until you're absolutely out of the situation.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Lovely hat, Jack.
Yep.
Hi, Doc.
Hey,
Welcome
you just
back.
stabbed them and made them shut up.
Hi.
No.
Did you have fun shooting Uzis?
Sorry. Oh yeah, yeah. They're on lunch break, but I'm out here with my Uzi still.
I was
All
gonna say,
right.
when is that not fun?
Yeah.
And I see
Yeah.
Jack has got my helmet on. Wonderful, Jack. Love it.
If we're going off the rails, we're going all the way off.
Why not, right?
You gave up the
Hey,
kingdom
if we're gonna do
first
something, do it well.
Have we ever been on?
Yeah, did we
Oh,
start
and-
on the rails?
I don't think so.
No, well, you in case you missed it, Jeff, we Jack had to blow the whistle plenty of times.
Yeah. And,
Good job, Jack.
The dangler.
Drug it out.
Dangler.
The dangler.
There's a dangle left and right. Right?
Hey.
He could dangle whatever way suits him today. Oh, there.
Look, if nobody's noticing, just helicopter that thing a couple times. Somebody will take notice.
Hey, I hear you guys love the helicopter. Just so you know, that's not sexy.
You're kidding.
I swear.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, especially goes south when somebody gets a black eye.
Yeah, that's what.
I'm not looking sexy trying to find somebody sexy. I'm like, I already found somebody sexy. It's me. Look at me. I'm wearing a fucking helmet.
Look at my hat. Look at my hat.
That's a pretty cool helmet. So
It is. I got the best.
Well, I see you in that hat, and I want to say biggest tickets. I don't know why.
You would be correct, sir. Would you like to?
Wow. Uh-oh. Where's your whistle? You need to learn how to blow it. Where's your
Blow
whistle?
that damn whistle.
I think I need to switch hats right now.
Hands?
Well, yeah, switch it up. Don't you call it the stranger after that?
Yeah,
Oh, now he's the
that's what I've heard.
conductor.
Down tracks. I am trying to get.
Now, wait a minute.
Let's not go too far off the rails, everybody.
Here's my issue. What happens when the conductor is worse than the rest of the crew?
Right? Exactly.
That's where the song "Highway to Hell" from AC/DC came from.
Yes. That's exactly where we're going.
But you guys have been at it for a while.
It's Mike Beavers and Butthead, but who's
4 or
Beavers and
5
who's
hours.
Butthead?
Yes,
And,
Angel.
we do have a new addition to the cast over here. Can somebody please acknowledge him?
Huh? What?
Over here.
We acknowledged her already.
Okay, shit. Yeah, I was.
You were looking for your hat.
Jack, you might want to blow the whistle on yourself now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whistle that.
Anybody else hear that mic drop?
It's fine. All right. So let me ask you guys, what's your favorite part about being a freaking author?
That's a great question.
That's a good question. Yeah, give me a minute to think
Really,
about it.
what is it that just tickles your fancy about being able to walk around and go, I'm an author? What is so cool about that?
I think it's just creating the different worlds that I like to create, and just being able to create what I want to create. Like Nick was saying in the previous hour, create what I would want to read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty much the biggest thing with me, and of course the other people reading my book and saying it's awesome. That's awesome as well.
I mean, your book's not like everybody else's, especially like ones that are just freaking kick ass, like King Nina. I mean, with the game style, breaking it down to it's a totally different book, it's a totally different series.
And I also like what Joe said about my first book on my city building series. It's like building a city. Now, I told you you cannot point Sim City if you want. Sim City, if you've ever.
That's exactly what the hell's going on right there. And then you get Jeff, who is a coastie, a fucking Coast Guard guy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's out there trying to figure out, okay, Coast Guard's got to survive zombies. How the hell are we going to do it?
Well, now, here's what I like about Jeff's books. Jeff's books, I can still understand them, and I have no clue about boats. So I know exactly what Jeff is talking about still. I don't feel ostracized like, oh, this isn't written for me. This is written for people who know about books or know about boats. So for me, I love that about Jeff and his books and his awesome books altogether.
Well, that's just the same deal with zombies. The nautical stuff is just a detail. It's
like we were talking about earlier.
The story is about the people.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is just details, window dressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Joe, what's your thoughts? Got her laughing.
Oh.
We're not
I think your mic's
hearing
muted.
Oh, that better.
Yeah, now we can
All
hear
right.
you.
I don't know, but I'm just sitting here laughing at Jack in his conductor hat. How many wardrobe changes has he done today?
Too many.
Only that one. Only that one when we get a little out of control, which never happens here. I don't know why he's wearing that hat.
Never.
Oh no, it doesn't.
I do like the shirt he's wearing though.
There we go. Okay.
That's a good. Yep.
Yeah, I need a few of them T-shirts.
But yeah, by the way, Josh, your book should be coming today. I should be getting your book today, hopefully.
Sweet.
If not, it'll be Tuesday. We'll see how the post office works today.
If they decide to work today.
Yeah, and then of course Monday. Monday's,
Yeah, Monday's a holiday.
Yep.
Yep.
No, Tuesday. I might get it Tuesday probably, but I'll let
Yeah.
you know.
Now, are you
That's
Sweet.
why I'm kind of
Nino?
hiding out there watching Band of Brothers in the living room, and I just don't get into the war movies that much.
Mm.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of war movies, but I can read zombie books.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's different reading the zombies and then watching a war movie because
Well,
those people existed. They really were
True.
there.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
alive. They were human because they were telling the stories and
Mhm.
they
Yeah,
watched their
nothing,
buddies die.
nothing that we can make up, no matter how twisted our minds are. Nothing compares to reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Reality
and
sucks. That's why I like reading. I can
That
there
go
was
in
a
a
whole
different
point.
world.
That was the whole point of me getting into books as a teenager because reality sucked as a teenager
Yeah.
back in the 90s. And I was like, okay, I'm just hiding away in a book. And
and
then
Well,
it got started.
mine was the
it
80s. I hid
it has
in
nothing to
books.
do. It has nothing to do with the decade.
No.
Being a teenager sucks.
Being a
Yeah,
Yeah.
it pretty
Amen.
sucked, period.
Amen to that.
Bad.
Reading a
No,
book was the
no
only
doubt.
way I could ride a dragon without it having to do with drug use. Okay, like,
And I started out with Wrinkle in Time. That was like one of the
Mm.
Love
first
that
books I
book.
read.
Love that book.
I read those series first, the C.S. Lewis books, and then I
Mm.
migrated to Stephen King, and then from there just went with the horror. That just Stephen King did it to me. So
And now you're infected by these crazy bastards.
yeah, I'm trying to get to everybody's books. I've got several audios I still got to listen to, but I've also got the hardback books too that I'm trying to read. So, with everyday life going on too. And I have like 11 grandchildren, another one on the way. So it's just children, and more children.
You mean there's life outside of books? That's blasphemy.
That's what I was going to say, man.
It's
Books on the books.
the older you get, the
Yeah.
harder it is to read with life and
Yeah.
all the requirements.
Very true.
But I've got my grandbabies into reading. I buy them books and
Oh.
stuff, and they like to read. So,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
my grandbaby that just graduated kindergarten made AB honor roll. So we're
Oh,
getting
yeah.
somewhere. I mean, it's kindergarten, but still, it's harder now in kindergarten than it
Oh,
was when we were.
They're
you
moving
know.
it up. Kindergarten now is
Right.
almost like what first grade used to be. Like
Right.
they're just trying to speed it up, and then anybody who gets left behind that aren't necessarily they're slow, they're just shoving them
Right.
off in a corner.
Right. And she made AB honor roll, and she went in not really knowing a lot of the stuff she should have.
Mm.
But she did really well. And see, my daughter was an AB honor roll student too until her senior year. But we're thinking that she may take after her.
Mm.
So there's no telling what I can get her into. Maybe she'll be a writer one day.
Yeah, I
That'd
hope
be
so.
awesome.
You never know.
We lost Jennifer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
She's out.
Well,
There she is.
There, oh, there she is.
Sorry,
came-
my internet. This last couple weeks, my internet has really sucked.
Mine
out here.
too.
I don't know what the hell the deal is.
Aliens, they're prepping us.
all right. Well, Chuck,
Yeah.
now that she's back and everybody's here, so then everybody can ask this question. Jeff wrote a totally off his normal grid story that was as funny a thing as I have ever listened to in my entire freaking life. Like, it was absolutely airplane quality. And everybody loves airplane. This thing was fantastic. If you thought about trying to do something like that, write a slapstick, stupid, parody, funny, just don't give a shit kind of book. Excuse my language, but yeah.
In the first place, what really puts it over the top, what really makes that book funny, is the way Matt Crow performed it.
Yeah.
The audiobook version of that is by far better than what I wrote
Yeah.
because of the performance that he gave. So I absolutely have to give him props for that.
So,
Is he,
have
ta-
you thought
is
of
he
doing
talking
something
about
like that?
cheerleaders?
Yeah, Scream Bloody Cheerleader.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That should have been a sci-fi movie. I'm sorry.
It
It was
should have been.
perfect sci-fi.
Absolutely should have been. That was an absolute one of those just holy shit, that's funny.
I
Yeah.
do not have the
You're
humor for
fantastic.
that.
Have you tried listening to it, Jen?
No, I haven't. I wanna listen to it, but
Listen
I
to
I
it.
Me
just
too.
I do not. I'm not slapstick funny. I'm
It,
sarcastic funny.
it's it's
I know my
it's
limits.
all that. It's
See,
all
for me, the slapstick kind of makes me feel like my IQ dropped like 10 points. So I have a hard time with it. But
You know, it isn't really. There are some slapstick moments in it, but um, I'm sure you've seen God knows how many '80s slasher movies.
yeah.
It's a parody of those.
Oh, so I can definitely get into that without feeling
Yeah,
like I've
yeah.
lost my mind. Okay.
yeah. Well, no, you may feel like you lost your mind, but
It won't take much.
I didn't say whether it actually happens or not. I'm just
Like,
saying.
okay, this is a person who
Well,
tells people, "Oh, you're going to drive
like
me crazy." It's a short walk. God damn.
but anyway,
yeah.
Gotta love tangents.
Yep.
But yeah, slapstick is to me. I just I have some comedy. Comedy for me has to be done correctly because I can't deal with that stupid comedy. I can't. It bothers me. I don't feel like I'm doing anything by
So
watching something like
what's
that.
an example? What's an
Yeah.
example you of stupid comedy? Like with airplanes?
Scary movie.
Oh, what?
No,
That movie's hilarious.
or Scream.
Scream is fine. Scream is not funny, or to me it wasn't funny. But the slapstick that I'm talking about is like American Dad. I think Simpsons. I know that these are some of their things are funny, but a lot of it to me is just like that. You're being stupid now. Seth MacFarlane is stupid, and he made millions of dollars being stupid, and I'm not taking it away from him at all because there's a market for that. But for me, it's just I just can't. I have a hard time. I like to pride myself on being semi-intelligent. To me, it's just I'm dumbing myself down watching that stuff.
well,
Kind of like Beavis and Butthead was in the day.
Yes. Oh God, yes. Ren and
slapstick to
Stimpy.
slapstick to me is the Three Stooges.
Yes.
Yes.
They
That's
were
slapstick.
funny. Okay.
I don't know.
Now,
The ones with Curly in it were.
I just think that if it's just so utterly retarded, stupid, that I have a problem with it. Period.
Watch Disorder in the Court.
Yes.
That is
And
so
I
damn
can't
funny.
and I can't have
Oh
Oh,
God!
disorder.
Now he went for Deadpool.
I
That's
just
pretty cool.
watched
Oh,
that last night.
Deadpool.
Now those are funny.
Yes,
There you go.
Deadpool is.
Those are funny.
Those are hysterical. Those are actually funny. I can handle
Yeah.
that.
Well, he's a good actor. That's why it
Yes.
makes it so funny.
Yes. Him and his wife, him and Blake, when
Yeah.
they go back and forth on Twitter and all that stuff, crack me up. It's perfect. They are a match
Mhm.
made in heaven.
He just popped back into camera, and I'm like, I hope somebody's wearing their brown pants.
Oh, and by the way, she always wears the brown pants.
I have no idea what you just said.
I think that's
Something
a
about who wear brown pants.
that's a marketing technique. You need to Angel. You need to get him to take a picture of that with your shirt and be like, even Deadpool likes my books.
There you go.
That would be
Have
nice.
you seen on Facebook everybody's doing where freaking
Yeah,
Benedict
right.
Cumberbatch is reading a book on set of Doctor Strange and people are photoshopping their covers on it?
No.
Oh,
I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
see
it's
that.
popped up
That's
in a
good.
lot of my groups recently. At first, I
I've
was
seen
like,
ones like that.
and then I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it's causing a lot of engagement. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to go out and buy the books, but I'm like, I chuckle every time.
Well, yeah, but this is the carrier for the rubberneck. I got that on Amazon.
The mask or the head or both on Amazon?
Both of them.
You can buy anything
So you can
on
buy anything on
Amazon.
Amazon.
Anything.
Car
Anything.
parts, your medicine, you name it, you can buy it.
Now,
Yep.
once you can buy a real human skull, let me know because I really want one back up there on my bookshelf. Like
You actually can.
Once I
You
die,
probably can.
You actually
Under their
can. You can
curiosities.
get- yeah,
writing
you
it
can get-
down.
Shit, hang on.
You can get medical school skeletons.
Yes.
Skeletons.
I guess my thing is, hey, Meryl Davis.
Done.
I decided to go with
in this house.
a fake skeleton.
See, now that's a pretty good one. I need a good because a lot of those fake skulls are like $2, and it's like I want like a good one that could almost pass for being real or real.
Mhm.
Just- oh my goodness!
This is a good part of the. This is a good part of the show. Just watching him put that on there.
Oh, just we could have the entire 7 hours of just watching Jack be.
Watching Jack and his
funny.
shenanigans. Yep.
It's going off the rails again.
Hey, back.
I think the conductor. I think he's off on break.
Yeah, we still
Deadpool got
have,
him.
we still have 2 more hours of this, folks.
Well, what? Do you want me to pull him back down again? Because I can if I have to. Shit. I'll put you down. He's up there. He's where he's supposed to be. Sick bastards.
Although now you got me thinking, now that I know I can buy foam, heads that you put them with my archery targets.
Well, I just found a human skull on Amazon. Real human, Paleta, natural bone.
Yep.
And they're $45.
Oh, my wife is gonna be real upset when she watched the credit card.
That's not bad. She's gonna be like, Josh, what is this?
Yeah, now you
They even got they got foot bones too. They've got the foot bones too. So you can buy everything on Amazon.
I mean,
Or you can go dig one up for free at your local cemetery.
Don't they call that an unboxing video?
Okay, now I'm starting to get frightened by my group. Hold up.
I actually did know somebody who knew where there were from some sort of, I don't know the exact situations, but somewhere in Alaska where there was something that happened and there's like a bunch of human bones not very deep, like in some village or something that was wiped out. And so he's like, I got a skull, you want one? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, next time I'm out there, I'll grab you one. And it never happened, but
I mean, I've got animal skulls.
oh, I don't have any in here. I got a lot of those.
Yeah, I found a whole deer family one time near the lake. Somebody had lured them in or whatever, and I've got their heads, I've got their backbone, I've got some of their leg bone.
I've said it before, by God, I'll say it again. You authors think you're scary. Meet your pain.
Yes. People, we think it up, but whoever is crazy enough to read it is maybe at a whole nother level. They're voluntarily doing it.
Not just read it, but be fans about it.
Yes, and enjoy it and what more.
Give me that 5-star rating and like, I love it.
I didn't think that would worry Jack, but it's still a thing. Like I played fantasy games with some weird people, and I'm the guy making the necromancy jokes where it comes to like crack open a cold one and stuff like that. It gets weirder.
I was gonna say, looking at your backdrop, do you do much D&D?
A little bit. I play on Sundays, but I help a friend of mine build his whole world.
Jeff's gonna be in it. Chris Philbrook, Adrian's Undead Diary, is gonna be in it. Richard Ryan Rose, his son is the one that put the game together for us, and we're gonna be playing with dice. Well, some of us will be that we got from Chris Philbrook that he made himself because he makes his own dice. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of a big deal.
Oh wow, that's fun. D&D is
my brother's a big D&D freak.
Never
He
played
loves
it.
It's little engraved dice tray, and these are actually, these are caribou antler. A buddy got them for me.
Cool.
So are you saying you do want to be in?
Me, I will have to pass. I already had to pass on 2 other games that people wanted me to be in because with a part-time job now, it's like
No time.
The idea of this is it won't be more than like an hour and a half. It's kind of like the worst case scenario. It's going to be like a fun game, like just like we're just going to play a quick little thing, and everybody's going to do it together and kind of have a moment and whatever.
Gonna have a
Well, I
moment.
mean, even if you do a full campaign, if you have like a weekly game night and play for 90 minutes each time, you don't have to sit there and have a marathon D&D game.
I was gonna say ours are usually turned into about 5 to 6 hours.
Yep.
But they don't give away all the ideas. Damn it. Yeah.
With the occasional derailment, just like this.
Yes. Oh no, 100%. We did one whole campaign that we were just talking about how we were going to fight a battle, and then we didn't even get to the battle for another campaigns. And I'm just like, okay, guys, this is a little like we're thinking about this a little too much. Let's strategize a little bit and then run in and start hitting shit with spells and swords. Like,
never mind. I'm not going to keep going down that rabbit hole.
Oh, why not?
All right. This is
Not like we don't have time.
Oh, shut up. I made up a character who had a bow that would send your soul to heaven when he killed you. And then we got on this making a joke. He's like, oh, yeah, well, he can over here just send people to heaven. I'm like, I should start a cult. And then it turned into this whole thing where I'm basically standing on a street corner. Oh, instant, what did I say? Absolution. And I'm just popping people in the face. And he's like, you need to talk. And I'm like, what? This is a joke. He's like, yeah, but you're scaring the hell out of any named like 3 of the other people in the group.
He's getting private messages like, what is going on?
Where it started was, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I was kidding. Why? Who's scared?
It's dark up in there.
Okay. You give me something like that and watch me not turn it into something it's not supposed to be. That's...
Oh.
Yeah.
Can somebody ask the guest with the yellow hat, because I ain't got a name popping up and I got shit in my way. What brought you to the party?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yes.
Jeff brought me to the party.
Yep. My fault.
Yeah, it's his fault. No, I've always loved horror and zombies, and it's different than reading all the textbooks that I had to read for decades of study and all the scientific papers. It's a whole different thing. And then when you start throwing in all the wonderful twists we have, like, could this really happen? Did everybody who just got a vaccine, do we have a virus that's going to turn us into zombies in 2 years or 3 years? What are we going to do with it?
I just started sleeping again. Don't start that.
I was going to say, if anything does it, it will be the vaccine.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Monkeypox is on its way.
Oh, yeah. I saw somebody said something about that, too. And I'm just like.
Already called that one. They already knew that was happening.
Yeah. Whoever had that on their bingo card, mark it down.
Now, there are biochemists out there who had their own theories about how to create a zombie virus.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard real zombie virus.
I've heard rabies.
Yep.
I've heard a combination of rabies and meningitis.
Oh, Zombieland made it where it was like a offshoot of mad cow disease. And then the deer, Jen, you remember the chronic wasting disease?
Chronic wasting disease.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea of the super soldier and building the super soldier and it gets out of control is so realistic in today's society.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's people always think I'm nuts. They're like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm out here shooting. Why? Well, you never know when I'm going to need to know how to make a headshot. Let's be honest.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with practicing, Doc. Nothing.
No.
Especially with an Uzi.
Yeah, right.
I said after you left earlier, I said, there's a reason I fear this woman.
I'll see if we're doing it tomorrow. It'd only be an AR, and you've already missed the handgun, and the shotgun isn't until Monday, so. But, you have to go through all the passes.
Right.
So, Doc, are you an editor?
Yes,
Okay, so you edit for, a bunch of different types of books?
sure.
Okay. All right, I wasn't sure what you did. I'd never heard. I've heard of you, but I've never heard what your actual role is.
Now,
I
for example, so what's the books that you do edit?
well, let's see, Jeff.
Jeff's books.
Lots of work there.
Enough. It keeps me busy. And
Nice.
I beta read for Scott to make sure things are consistent. Because he tells me he has other editors.
Okay.
Every time I go to correct, he goes, "Oh, don't worry about that. Just read." So
Read for continuity.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm not going to do for Angel is just read. Hell no.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Because Jack is kind of the only one that can handle. I guess.
He said, "I'm ready."
well, and I read for some other
Ricky
people.
Fleet is in the house.
Ricky!
Howdy. How is everyone?
Hi, buddy.
Our official UK correspondent.
Where's your fur? I don't see no fur on you.
Fur?
Yeah.
Big fuzzy
Your
coat.
robe.
Hey,
There it
yeah.
is. It's
No.
barking in the back.
That's what we do around here. We get dogs mad, we go off the rails. That's it.
Yep. Never a dull moment.
No.
Never. Never.
The dog just knows. Like, that's the one that buys treats and stuff. Why don't you do that?
Ricky!
So how you doing, buddy?
my God. Somebody
Besides-
gently walked past out the front, so obviously the dogs are on high alert, aren't they?
Get away from my house.
Oh, my life. Poor
They
postman.
saved you. They
I
saved you
swear
from
he
two mailman and a
dies a
trash.
little bit every time he knocks the door.
Must have been the same.
There's got to be a
Must have-
squirrel out there somewhere.
Must have been the same guy because ours just went ballistic too.
Yeah.
So I feel you.
He gets around fast, doesn't he?
He really does. Came all the way to Arizona from UK. How the hell did you do that?
Well, he definitely doesn't
Oh,
work with
no.
both.
Jesus.
The transporter. Goodness.
Holy.
Okay, well, Scott showed up, perfect timing.
Yes.
Guess what that means?
Speak of the devil.
We are now
Thank you.
in the
Glad I
padded
get you everywhere.
room. We are now in the padded room, folks.
Oh yeah.
Final
Guess
2
what?
hours.
Well,
We
I'm
are-
gonna have to get on out of here because I'm gonna have to eat and
slide.
head out to the bar and have some fun. So I'll catch you guys in the later, all right?
Sweet. See
Make
ya.
like a
Yeah,
baby
yeah,
and head
yeah,
out.
Angel.
I'm actually not going to be
Hey,
talking
you know-
as well.
And before I go, Josh, I got you on my newsletter for this month. I got your Kickstarter on the newsletter.
Oh.
So,
Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing, buddy. I
All right,
appreciate
buddy.
it.
all
We'll
right,
have to
guys,
do a
take it
newsletter
easy.
swap too. I'll get a hold of you.
All right, take it easy, man.
You too, buddy.
Oh,
Alrighty
Everclear is
then.
terrible shit.
You're actually drinking Everclear?
Yeah.
You're insane.
Yeah.
Tell me what that
Right,
is.
out of the room.
I
Right?
have a liver of steel.
What's Everclear?
Gasoline.
Yeah.
Really?
Pretty much great
Pretty
gasoline.
much.
They can start a lawnmower and other small engines. But
Yep. Great to have in the apocalypse.
I was going to say, yeah, good to have in the apocalypse in the event of an emergency.
Yep.
You can light a zombie on fire with that shit.
See,
Yes,
now,
you can.
Okay.
my ordinary alcohol choice would have been tequila. But I figured that would be a bit too hardcore. So I went with amaretto to be civilized.
Ah,
I
yes,
should
sissy.
have grabbed the tequila
Just water for me.
because Jen is doing fucking
Clear
Everclear.
shot. Clear
water.
shot.
It's iced coffee now, but Jack Daniels later tonight.
honestly, that's probably one of the reasons her and I became friends. Just because this looks like a bad thing we shouldn't drink. All right, pour me some.
Yeah. Let's
You
try
lot are too
this.
hardcore for me. I'm sat here with my water.
But which one of you dared the other one to do it?
A mutual bad decision, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because honestly, we both make really shitty decisions.
Well, that's good.
It's,
At
I
least
mean, it's
you make-
mutual.
You're
Yeah,
making
positive
decisions.
reinforcement's never wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if I'm getting in trouble, somebody's coming with me.
Have you ever had moonshine?
Yes,
Yeah.
disgusting.
It
I
wasn't
had-
that bad.
I had-
It
I had a
wasn't that
guy.
bad.
I had a guy who made it with strawberries, and
Ugh.
my dumbass. I'm sitting here glug 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 glug, the glutton that I am. Okay, sitting here chugging it, and then I'm like, oh, that's not so bad. Dug out a strawberry, popped that bad boy in my mouth, and ate
Oh,
it.
those are bad.
10 minutes later, I was like, holy shit.
No, I was
Yeah.
like,
What just happened? What
tasting
dimension am I
colors.
in? Yeah, exactly. I'm hearing colors.
I grew up in a little country bumpkin town out here in Ohio, and somebody gave me a mason jar of it when I was like 17. I woke
They
up 12
make
hours
it.
later in an apple orchard with one shoe.
Yeah, they make it. They make
Yep,
it in
there you go.
Ohio, so it
Yep.
was very normal for us in Ohio and Michigan. They would make it. It's very normal for us to have moonshine.
You know, everybody had a friend. Somebody's dad had it in the garage or the barn.
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. And then
Yeah.
we get out here to Arizona. I'm like, there's no good alcohol out here. Find Everclear at the store. I'm like, yes, winner. We buy 2 bottles. Nick makes apple pie moonshine, which
Yes.
was okay. I can't drink a lot of it because it's like, I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's the cinnamon in it. I don't know. But we drank it. And then we still have a bottle of Everclear left. I'm like, well, I'm out of vodka, so next best thing.
Oh no.
Show that had apple
We need to
pie.
do it. We need to do a
moonshine.
padded room sometime when we're all drinking.
That's what I
Oh,
keep
well,
telling
I've
them.
already got
I
one.
can only imagine how it is without. I can see that now with.
Yeah.
Hey, to be
Most
fair,
of the
first
time,
one I
I'm
showed up to, I was plastered.
Most of the time, I'm way more slosh than this on these shows.
There's still time to go.
Hey, yeah, I
It's
have an
still
empty
early.
glass. I
These
drank
these
it
clothes
all,
are the-
so
Oh, dear.
Oh.
I would show something, but I ain't gonna put it.
Go on. You know you're gonna. You know you wanna.
Come
Now
on.
you gotta.
just do it.
Come on.
There's no sense.
Hold on.
There's
Hold
no
on.
sense acting like you have standards, Jack.
I know.
Come on.
Just
did
because
that
balls
happen?
were moved by a spider in a book doesn't mean they are now. Come on.
Well, it's over there. It's okay.
Fine, I got you.
Actually, what Jack is drinking is Shirley Temples, and he doesn't want to show us.
Oh.
Well, make sure at least has a cherry.
Oh, I'm about
We
You
to
still
gotta
have
have
that,
the
yeah.
maraschino cherry.
Drinking Foster's.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's about,
Ugh.
No, that would be degrading drinking Foster.
I know.
Even I've
Australia
got limits and
sent,
I'm British.
Australia sent their shit beer to America.
I was
I
gonna
know.
say,
I
I've
used,
never
we
had
used
it.
to
Is it
drink it
really
in
that bad? I work
Okinawa,
at a beer
and
company.
when I went to visit a friend in Sydney, he goes, "Do you want a beer?" And I went, Foster's, no. And he goes, "Oh no." He says, "Foster's the shit we export." And then I spent like a week tasting all the Australian beers. Yes.
They are nectar of the gods, man.
Yes.
My personal favorite is Victoria Bitters. Oh, that's good.
Oh.
You're not going to
Oh.
fight a kangaroo sober, are you?
Yeah,
They've got to make the drinks taste as good as they can.
To be fair, the drinks don't have to taste that good.
Actually, I prefer the cider.
After the first couple sips, your mouth's numb, so who cares what it tastes like?
Yeah, you're just sitting there like,
You're just chugging. Oh, this juice is good.
I
And the moment
learned
it spreads
the
to the rest of
hard
your
way.
body.
Don't drink frozen vodka. I was at a party and there was a whole bunch of Russians.
My favorite kind.
I won't drink vodka with
Uh-oh,
Russian.
we've lost him.
You got froze.
Oh, let's talk about frozen vodka.
I was really into that story then.
I'm sloshing and thinking this isn't bad until I stood up and it was like the room was spinning in 2 directions.
That is the only downfall of frozen anything.
Yeah.
I tell
It
that
kills that burn.
Oh yeah.
Cuts it back. Yep.
Alrighty then.
Like that time with Jaeger, Jen.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh,
Anyway,
me and that
No.
Jaeger.
On the
today's topic-
last bad drinking story, my ex-wife got mad at me once, went over a friend's house and drank an entire bottle of peppermint schnapps
Oh,
and then got
yeah.
sick.
On
And
purpose?
Yeah.
Not on purpose. She drank the schnapps on purpose, but then she didn't realize, and she threw up all night peppermint. So
Oh.
it
Makes the smell
hold on,
decent.
third.
She
She
can
hated
never.
Christmas after that. You know, you
I
can-
bet.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Minty fresh breath.
We helped close down Midway Island, Midway Atoll.
Mhm.
There used to be a U.S. base there, and they were closing down the club. So they had a bunch of liquor laying around. It's on Midway in the middle of damn nowhere. What are they going to do with it? So they sold it. But fifths of schnapps were 50 cents.
Oh my God.
Well, that'd
Okay,
be
yeah, I can see that.
50 cents.
That's a recipe for a hospital visit right there.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
it
drink
was
this
wrong.
alcoholic syrup.
I mean, granted, I haven't drank schnapps since I was a teenager, but
It's right up there with Boone's Farm, isn't it?
yeah.
Yes.
What was that?
Sweet. Well, you guys have fun. I got to head out of here. It's been awesome.
Bye, Josh.
Thanks,
Nice
Josh.
talking with you
Yeah,
guys
Josh.
again.
We had
Take care,
fun.
mate.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you so much for hanging out, bro. I am definitely having fun having you on shows, bro.
Sweet.
Or some
Thanks
fun.
for the invite.
Every time.
Sweet. See you guys.
Take
Bye,
care.
Josh.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks for coming by. Alrighty then. So before we get started, let's not forget that during this 2 hours, we are auctioning off the 2 signed copies of The Collector.
Right here.
So if you guys want it, put your bids in now. We will choose them in the final hour.
This
We
ain't
will-
one of them, but this is what they look like.
That's what they look like.
That's pretty.
It's
It's
gorgeous.
pretty cover.
Yeah.
And
some
Jeff, where are
great-
they putting the bids in?
And some
Pardon
great, bizarre, sick writing inside.
What's that, Doc?
Where are
Some
they putting
good,
the bids?
bizarre, sick writing inside.
Just either send us a message in the messenger.
Oh.
Answer. Post something on the Asylum of Fear. Let us know. Somehow, smack us upside the head. Whatever you need to do. Let us know what you want your bid to be. And then we will pick the top 2 at the end of the show.
And remind everybody where the money's going.
The money is going to, thank you, Doc. The money is going
That's what
to,
I'm here for. I'm sober.
Yeah, we're not gonna let you slip on this.
the
Come on,
money
man.
is going to a charity that helps battered women. So
Good
there you
call.
have it. So it's for a good cause, and literally, there are 6 authors on these books. All it will take is for one of those 6 authors to hit it big. And all of a sudden, that book will have actual value.
I sent you my bid via DM, Jeff.
Okay. All right. The bid has started off at $30, folks.
Shit.
$30.
There's 2 of them. There's 2 books. There's
books.
2. Yep. Don't forget that.
I'll catch you in 2 paydays.
I'm kind of in the same boat because I had to go buy. I had to buy stuff.
Things and stuff gotta be taken care of. But, we'll come back around.
I'm just saying, 308 was expensive. Okay.
I'm already covering Angel, so come on.
So anyway, today's topic, assuming we actually get to it,
Yeah.
is monsters.
Oh.
Like in general, any type of monster?
In general, you can have
Oh.
werewolves, you can have Frankenstein's monster, you can have Hannibal Lecter type monsters. You can have.
All right, this is where I'm going to get weird because I got a bunch of from like fantasy stuff, and some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. But I've had
Cool.
like
I need a drink. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you do.
Get back. Yep. It's go time now, baby. We about to get kids up in here. It is a padded room.
I think everybody can agree. Like when it comes to monsters, there are no rules. It's just like how screwed up can this get?
Yeah.
Some of them have cool lore behind them, or like a reason why they are the way they are. But some of it's just the fact that they exist. You're like, no, that's a whole lot of nope. I don't want to deal with this. Like I don't even want to think about that again. And I got one that won't leave my mind. I don't know who came up with it, but it basically was they dubbed it an animated flesh pit. Think of a bunch of undead corpses that are all basically a jello mold with teeth and hands.
The Blob.
No. Like you could see skin. It didn't look like that. Like, yeah, it was just they had all melded in one mass, and it was just the scariest fucking thing I even pictured. But yeah, it was described in a game, and the guy actually had one of our friends is an artist, and he drew it up. Now I don't know if he came up with it or he found this somewhere, but never again, because that thing is truly the stuff of nightmares. It was like, well, how do you get away from it? He's like, well, once you find it, it's kind of too late. I'm like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, you're joining it.
Yeah. There's not a lot of stuff that gets under my skin like that, but yeah, that thing, whatever the hell, no.
Well, speaking of which, there's The Thing.
Oh, yeah.
John Carpenter's The Thing, the original one created by Rob Bottin.
Yes, my favorite.
That is one
movies ever
fucked up monster.
Yes.
I love that movie.
Have you all seen the Facebook meme going around about the fact they've found worms that have been defrosted after 40,000 years?
Yep.
And they are now awake and moving around and doing things.
Can we put them back?
Put them back in the freezer, for fuck's sake. Put them away. The way this past 2 years have been going, come on.
Hell yeah.
You know.
And now they have earthworms that jump like 3 feet in the air.
Yeah.
See, I'm same with what he's saying. Like every time you see a news story like that, earthworms coming, like prehistoric earthworms, or this unknown tomb we found with certain artifacts. No, just close it all up. Let's find ourselves for a couple of years.
I was going to say, let's let the dust settle, and then maybe we'll have a look.
Just stop that.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Now they've apparently found like a prehistoric shark roaming the waters off Japan.
Brilliant.
It looks like half shark, half moray eel, but it's supposedly like 6 feet long.
Isn't prehistoric shark? Isn't that kind of like the same thing twice?
Yeah.
Sharks themselves are prehistoric. They haven't changed in millennia.
Oh, this thing is friggin'. I mean, it's creepy.
Got
looking.
the unicorn hat.
Wow.
She's got it.
She's drunk and horny.
Oh dear.
Don't be jelly, Jason.
I'm not jelly. Do you get any channels with that thing?
Think you are. What's that?
Do you get any channels with that thing?
I get ass with that thing. What do you mean?
Not being rude. It's a bit floppy, isn't it?
I'm sure Nick is a very happy man. Yep, I killed her. You're all welcome.
Uh-oh. Oh, you have?
Where's that whistle, Jack?
Oh dear.
Hey, hang on. Shit, cat.
Okay, never mind. She's frozen. I was a little worried for a second.
Yeah, I thought it was a stroke or something.
Yeah. You smell toast.
Man down! Medic! Oh, she has. She's gone.
Well, that's the power of the whistle.
Okay. I'm going to call that a victory. I don't care what she says afterward. I made her laugh so hard her internet went out.
The whistle can make it go away.
Oh,
That's pretty powerful shit.
Blow. Don't blow. I'll blow.
Well,
there was a monster from Buffy the Vampire Slayer called the Gentleman. You guys remember this?
Is this the series?
There's an episode of the series.
Okay.
episode in the 4th season called Hush.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
And like 2/3 of that episode plays with no dialogue at all.
Right.
Yes.
I remember.
The gentleman, the first thing they do is they steal everybody's voice,
Okay.
and then their faces are just horror all unto themselves,
Yeah.
and then they float
Yeah.
above the ground,
Like the nun in the Blues Brothers.
and they come and they cut people's hearts out while they sleep,
Ah.
and they can't. They're alive and awake while the gentlemen are doing this, and they can't scream.
Yeah. They had that weird, creepy, like Joker grin thing going on.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's like, wow, I've watched Buffy since I was a teenager. Holy crap.
Yeah.
It's been a long, long time.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go look up show.
What's it been, like 20 odd years now, isn't it?
Yep. Something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think it came out in the mid to late 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm so old.
It's not.
Yeah, that sort of takes you on to one of the things that freaked me out when I was a youngster. Well, it's not the original. I've never seen the original, but the remake with Donald Sutherland, The Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh.
That freaked me. I forget how old I was. I can only have been in single digits when I watched it, maybe a little bit older. But just being in that situation where you don't know if the person that you're talking to is one of them, the slightest hint of any emotion, and you become one of them. That for me was a real freaky. It just you're in a constant prison. There's no respite from the fear that you're under. You're walking among these things. Yeah. I think we need to burn Facebook with fire as well, to be honest with you. But that's a story.
Oh, when are we going?
Yeah.
Who's driving?
Yeah, and the other one
I'll drive.
The other one that always freaked me out was the original. I saw, God knows how long ago, but the 1988 remake of The Blob.
Yes.
The method of dying at the hands of that creature, being encased in the acidic goo, that gave me nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
You never know where it's coming from, and once it's got you, it's going to slowly eat you. That freaked me right out.
Yeah, that was good.
Because you can't escape. You're already dissolving. And if you didn't manage to get away, you're missing
And
pieces.
you're dissolving, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I love the scene when the waitress it traps her in the phone booth and she sees her boyfriend just like melting as it goes in front of her.
Yeah. So she knows what's coming as well.
One of the few remakes that was better than the original.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that. Totally.
Yeah.
Now, freaky, one scene that freaks me out from a movie, and it's the cheapest movie made. Children shouldn't play with dead things.
Never saw it.
Nope.
Watch it. There's a scene where they summon the zombies and they rise from the graves in this old cemetery. And there's this one scene where the guy's backing up from a zombie and this hand comes up and grabs his pants leg, and this decayed woman pulls herself up his pants, up his back, grabs his shoulders and drags him to the ground. Oh, it makes me cringe every time I watch it. Just the way she comes out of the dirt to eat him.
Sounds like when I used to go clubbing. They probably smelt worse as well, to be honest with you.
Oh my God. I
This
would
is
have to
why-
say the one scene that really freaked me out was probably Poltergeist. Just when she's talking to the TV, when it's on white noise.
Oh yeah.
It's just on static. And I'm just like that, but I think it's because that really could happen. In my opinion, that really could happen. And it just that movie and what was the one with Kevin Bacon?
Stir of
White
Echo.
Noise. Was it
Stir of Echoes.
Stir of Echoes? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
That one was another one that was really creepy to me.
Funny thing is, as a younger kid, like that's the movie that got me into the Stones. So strangely enough.
As a younger kid, you
But
know
I
I
what?
remember getting it constantly.
funny thing for me, the poltergeist scene always reminded me of this one time that myself and several friends did some orange sunshine, which is LSD.
Ah,
Um, and this was back in the day when you had broadcast TV, and you had the fuzzy channels, and you could make the horizontal hold so it would spin. We sat there and watched that laughing for like 3 hours.
oh my God.
Sounds like a good night.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun.
That
Fun
movie,
and
I think
inexpensive.
that movie was the one that gave me my fear of clowns.
Look, psychedelics in a mirror were the first face-changing filter before smartphones.
You never knew what you were going to get either once you popped it.
Nope.
Makes a great diet though when there's a dragon blocking the fridge.
I should have tried that shit a long time ago.
All right, so what's everybody's favorite cult classic?
Oh.
Let's start with Jiffy.
Favorite cult classic? Well, I'd have to go with The Thing.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's The Thing was technically a cult classic because it was a box office flop. And it saw its success once VHS came out.
Mm.
All right, well, since I'm second on this list based on the camera screens, I'm gonna say my favorite cult classic is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That was terrible.
It's my
Terrible.
So bad it's good.
It dropped 10 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a popcorn maker, for Christ's sake.
All right, next one on my list is Jason. Jason, what's your freaking cult classic favorite?
Okay. All right. Technically, it's more than one, but I would have said the Evil Dead trilogy. But the second one, strangely enough, out of all of them, I can watch that and like I want to watch a horror movie, but I want to laugh my ass off. So it's right there in the middle.
If you get a chance, watch that one time with the director's commentary with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell.
Oh God.
Because Bruce Campbell talks about how Sam Raimi and his brother would just beat the shit out of him. Whatever it was, whatever the scene was they were doing, they would just pile on him.
I knew where he was going.
It
That's
tripped me
why
out as a kid.
I've got even more respect for him now, knowing that. And I didn't think I could have anymore.
What about you, Doc?
My favorite cult film. Yeah. I guess I'm just a bit too old school because it would be something like it's got to be called Rocky Horror. I'm sorry.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
It'd have to be that, I think.
That's a good one.
Okay, you saying that reminds me. You can tell a lot about a person's personality if they know from where they know Tim Curry.
Yes.
Yeah, damn right.
Hell yeah.
You're all going to say Home Alone 2, aren't you?
Oh, no.
What? Has he been in anything else?
Oh, I loved him.
You mean Congo? You mean Congo? Gotcha.
First thing I remember seeing him in was the TV version of It.
Yeah.
Yep.
TV version.
Now, the first time I saw him actually was in Clue. That was the first time.
Okay.
And my favorite Tim Curry moment comes from the Three Musketeers.
Yes.
All for one and more for me.
He was great
Such
in
a
that
great
movie.
line. Oh,
He was great in that movie.
Another one I'm going to have to watch.
It sounds like modern politicians' creed there, doesn't it?
Hey, you authors, you crazy people, the ones of you that write stuff, have y'all actually ever written a character based on one of these superstars because there was something about him you just liked so much?
No, that's a really good
No.
question, but no.
No, I know.
Technically,
I-
technically, I suppose yes,
Ah,
because one of the characters in the second chapter of the zombie series is a stunt double for Jennifer
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence.
I remember her,
Lawrence.
yeah.
So
I'm telling you now.
technically yes, but I didn't really make it Jennifer Lawrence, so just a stunt double.
so
No, I think the worst I ever did was my main character in my first novels, The Vampire Hunters, was just what I wanted to be. He was a cigar smoking, iced coffee drinking, whiskey swilling guy who got himself into trouble. He needed a woman around to make sure he didn't get himself killed. It was just sort of like I fantasized about myself.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a self-insert.
Yeah.
there was some touching involved, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now
Isn't there always?
Your question, Jack, begs the question: if we're crazy, what does that make you guys?
Fans?
Crazier.
Isn't it one of those things that's relative? Like, just
I would actually say it makes us critics because we've seen so many different styles of zombie all across the map. And now we get to jump into different universes and go, oh, well, they didn't do that over in that one. You have to be careful of that shit. Yes, do that. I ain't gonna lie.
It makes them normal. I mean, come on. We all stop and stare at the car wreck on the side of the road, hoping to see some gore. Whenever the news says the images we're about to show you may be disturbing, we all concentrate to see what's going to be on the TV.
yeah.
I'm going to start clutching my pearls any moment.
Yeah.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. No part wrong. Right?
The worst one of those I saw was in San Diego. And it wasn't even a wreck. There was a Department of Corrections bus broke down on the side of the road. And people were slowing down to look at it. I'm like, you fucking idiots, it's Department of Corrections. There's fucking murderers in that bus. Drive faster.
Yeah, just giving them a free car. Yeah, worst I ever saw was after a motorbike crash and the body was nowhere near the head. That was on a motorway. That was awful.
I spent the first few years of my life in San Diego, and I guarantee you at least a couple of those drivers considered waiting to see if somebody would grab their car so they could slam on the gas.
No.
I promise you.
Yeah.
There's some twisted people out there, man.
Yeah.
Yes, there are.
But that's what makes the world fun.
Yeah.
You need
Or incredibly dangerous, depending on your opinion.
Well,
That was fun.
states that dangerous become fun very quickly.
It just means there's more kids.
I'm the type of guy, like, if you know, like 3 miles back, you have to merge, and I see that one asshole, we've all merged into the right lane, and that one asshole comes down on the left, I'm the one that pulls in front of him.
Yep.
And we'll just sit in that lane until we get there, and then I merge in, and then, like, everybody behind me won't let him in.
I used to do that with my truck.
Oh,
I would straddle both lanes.
yeah.
And I know there's a lot of other truckers that do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I would
try-
straddle both lanes. I'd try and get by me, motherfucker.
Please don't tell me you weren't one of those that as the car was pulling up, you'd pull out to go around the truck doing 55, doing 56.
No. No.
Oh, I get so
55.2.
That was so specific.
Very.
Well,
Childhood trauma right there.
there's a good explanation for that. In driving a truck with a full load, it's all about momentum.
Mm.
if you lose that momentum, it takes forever to get back up to it
Okay.
because you're hauling 40,000 pounds.
Okay.
So if you're coming up on this truck
Mm.
that's slowed down because its engine is governed at a slower speed, you literally have no choice but to pop out
All right.
and go around them.
I won't yell at them from
Or
inside
you
my
could
car.
slow down and let us pass, Jeff. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, yeah, but what bugs me is when you do that, the idiot that was doing 55 suddenly starts doing 56.
Yeah.
I've had that so many times where this truck on the right of me is going slower than shit until I pop out to go around them. Then it takes forever
Yeah, we know.
to pass him. And then 15 seconds later, you look in the rearview mirror and he's way the hell back there. So he sped up just to stop you from passing him.
I thought you guys were a brotherhood, an unbreakable bond, road warriors.
Yeah,
They are.
you
Except for when
read
you get
that
that guy who
wrong.
stopped to play lottery tickets for the last 2 hours, and now he's trying to make up the time.
So we got off track. What, Jen? What's your cult classic movie?
I really liked Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
The first
The
or
old
the
black and white one.
Oh.
The old black and white one. And I don't remember who
Oh,
the
good.
actor and actresses are in it. But
Raymond Land, I think.
it was that one really creeped me out because I'm like, you have no idea to tell. You can't tell. Oh, excuse me. You can't tell who's who. You can't tell if they're the aliens or if they're real people. So I really got freaked out by that. And that was, I think, my favorite. That is the one. I remember his face every time he looked at something with his disheveled, he was just sweating balls and he's running around town and oh my God, and his look, I remember it.
Absolutely. Scott?
It's a toss-up between two of them.
Oh.
I love the old 1951, The Thing from Another World. It was loosely based on the Campbell book, but it is just one of the best movies.
Loosely.
Very well done. I love the whole thing. And another cult classic that really is a cult classic is the one I was talking about earlier, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Yeah, poorly acted, poorly written, poorly produced, but it's got some of the creepiest scenes in it.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up.
Now, the thing is why I hate remakes. Technically, I don't view John Carpenter's The Thing as a remake of The Thing from Another World.
No,
I view those two different movies.
Right.
But
Okay.
the Thing remake that they did that's supposed to be a prequel,
Yeah.
it's the same damn movie.
Yeah.
Some of those scenes are virtually shot for shot.
Just
It's the
worse.
same goddamn movie. They didn't even try.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it that they showed you what happened in the first one.
Well, yeah, they showed you what happened in the first one by showing you what happened in the good one.
But then they had to bring women in. I mean, that was one of the things that made The Thing classic. There was no love interest. It was just the guys going at each other. And then the whole bullshit at the end when it takes off, the spaceship takes off and then crashes. So that means they don't find it buried in the ice in the next movie.
Right. Yeah. And then what happened to the woman? The woman and the pilot were in a different part of the camp. I don't remember them being killed.
I think he was because he wasn't wearing the earring. And she burnt him alive in the
snow truck, wasn't it?
Yeah, the snow truck. And then she gets in the other one and drives off. So you just assume.
So what happened to the chick? What happened to her?
Nothing. You don't know. She doesn't show up in any of the other movies, so I guess you assume she died.
That's where they were showing a woman was smarter than most men. She got finished with the situation and got the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they listen
Yeah,
to
but she's
Sigourney-
in Antarctica. There's no place
There's
to
nowhere
get
to go.
You can
Nowhere
die
to go.
anywhere else other than where that thing is burning.
Yeah. Yeah.
if they had listened to Sigourney Weaver in Alien, the movie would have lasted an hour. So,
There's a valuable lesson to be learned there. But
Yeah.
the actress in that Thing remake was no Sigourney Weaver.
no.
No.
You know,
She was in the remake of The Thing. That was the woman that was in. She was in Final Destination, I believe the second one,
No.
she's been in loads of crap.
and she was in Sky High,
Never
Yeah.
a kids movie.
You literally just say
Yeah.
loads of crap.
Yes, mate.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, no, I
Make sure his
didn't
voices aren't talking to him again.
yeah, I didn't dislike the film. It's just like Jeff said, it's the same film.
It was
But-
the
but
exact
they
same
just
film.
had to chuck a woman in, and the woman had to survive. That's not a
Well,
memorable ending.
And
The
I think a
memorable
lot.
ending. Sorry, Jen, you carry on.
No, my bad. I think a lot of times when, especially the newer movies, when they're throwing women or other people in, it's to placate people, to placate the masses, because I think that nowadays with cancel culture the way that it is, I think that they feel like they have to. And in some movies, I just wish that they would just keep it how it was, all men or all whatever.
Yeah.
And just don't, if you're going to remake a movie, you don't got to throw in a female just because, the hashtag Me Too movement. I disagree
But
with
I,
it.
I don't think they did it because of that. I think they just did it because it expanded their demographic.
Yeah.
You see
Bring it
that?
on.
Us women
you
don't
see
care
that-
about that for the most part.
Well, yeah, I know that, but that's what the bean counters in Hollywood think they do.
Yeah,
It's
thank God
the
they're
same way
starting
when
to
you
lose
make-
money and all.
When you make a slasher movie PG-13, they're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
that so that they can expand their audience, but it's a slasher movie.
Yeah.
It's got to be rated R. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I remember that happening was was RoboCop 3.
Yeah.
You remember the first two were absolutely phenomenal, 18 rated, and then RoboCop 3 I think was one of the first films that came out over here with a 12 rating. And it was absolute wank. It was just utter, there's no point to it. You've got your demographic, you've got your fans who will stay loyal to you with the 18 rating and the gore.
Yep.
You're annoying the people that enjoy it for what it is by basically sanitizing it. And the thing with the women, what I find a lot of the times is they throw women in and have them act exactly like men do. It's like, well, Sigourney Weaver didn't achieve what she did and become iconic and memorable because she was just another bloke, a woman acting as a bloke in it. She was a woman that used her own skills that didn't require the power of the Space Marines. She was the victor. The people, the men, the ones with the guns didn't win. She did, and it's I don't.
Brains
I
over
mean, it's
brawn.
like I just don't. I've watched the a bit of the new Obi-Wan show, and the female lead in it is just a bloke, but she's a woman.
Wow.
But she's a bloke.
Yeah.
It's like
A guy with boobs.
why you're not making complex female characters, Hollywood. You're making men with tits.
Yes.
You can't write
Yes.
for shit. Get some of the people back from the 80s and the 90s who know what they're doing. Sack your fucking writers that you've got now and write complex female characters that
Yes.
have survived for 40 years, 30 years, that we still talk about on podcasts like this.
That'd be
Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sarah Connor.
It's a
was
believable
the biggest-
transition from a
Yeah.
complete ditzy waitress
Yes.
to the mother of the savior of mankind. It
Yes.
was utterly believable. forget the fact that Arnie's cutting his eyeball out in a dingy sink. You could at every step at every step of the way you bought into who she was, and the transition from soft to hard.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's like, I forget what film it was in, but it was another one with Kristen Stewart, and she's what, like 100-pound wet, and she's fighting 200-300-pound geezers. And they're hitting her, and she's just like, getting annoyed, and then it's like, love, if someone of that size punched you, your head would implode. It's the way it used to be done was the action was ridiculous, but it was also believable sometimes. That immediately takes me out of anything. I've trained in martial arts. Women fight, in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. They can beat person bigger than them. If they get the right transitions and they get arm bars, whatever, they can do it. Stand up boxing, you're going to get hurt.
We don't have the arm strength. Women scientifically do not have the upper body strength that men do.
That's right.
That's and unfortunately everybody's like, oh, whatever men can do, women can do just as well, if not better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there is an actual physiological difference between men. You can't ignore the science. And to ignore the science in a movie makes it unbelievable. And I'm sorry, I'm done. Because there's no way. If I got a guy in my group, I don't want to be the one fighting the men. I don't want to be the one that are sitting there taking on a 300-pound dude. That's just not believable. That's not going to happen. No. The only reason when I was in corrections that I was able to take on a 300-pound guy was because of whether it was self-defense training or because I had a group of people behind me to help me take down this 300-pound man who was trying to turn around and rip my throat out. There's no way I could do it by myself. And I'm not a small girl at all. And I'm not afraid, but I know my limits. And that's the problem, I think, with today is that they try to make people like Kristen Stewart, who are definitely 100 pounds, if that soaking wet, and turn her into Billy Badass. And she's not. It's just not believable. And I'm sorry, I can't get behind that.
Mine's unrelated. I can't take her seriously because she was one-faced and had a sparkly boyfriend. After that, no.
Yeah,
but she does that same face in every film. It's just like that.
Every film.
I mean, she's got a lovely, she's a very attractive woman, but she's got that resting, like upper row of teeth, just vacant, dead-eyed Hollywood.
She's not a good actress at all.
No. You don't know. Look, the only thing is you don't know if it's her standing there or a cardboard cutout. Like, that's all I'm saying.
I'm sure it's save on costs if they just got the cardboard one.
If you look at the two big franchises, Hunger Games and whatever the sparkly vampire bullshit was called.
I'm so glad you didn't name it. The show that cannot be named, we're going to call it now.
That's it. You look at the difference between the two. Jennifer Lawrence actually can't act. Kristen Stewart can't.
Well,
agreed.
Twilight was just the story, a woman's choice between necrophilia and bestiality.
Or both.
Pretty much.
Or both. Why
The
choose?
fact that she was torn should say enough right there.
Now, if we're talking positive female characters, one of my favorite is Carol from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
I love the fact that
from
she went
victim
from
to
those first
badass.
steps. Yeah, she went from being the mousy, battered housewife to the point where,
She shot a kid in the back of the head.
Telling the girls to look at the flowers.
We've all been there.
Figuring this out by yourself. And my favorite scene in all of it is when the little boy catches her stealing the weapons, and she does the whole thing about, I'll leave you in the woods and no one will hear you yelling.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Or you can stay quiet and I'll bake you cookies.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie and say that I wasn't happy when he got munched.
Oh God, that was a pain.
You know,
friggin'
I
ass.
was just like that. Yes, yes.
I
Yeah.
like okay, she went, like you said, she basically went from battered housewife, and the last episode I like really remember was her just single person assault on Terminus with a fucking bottle rocket and a couple of rifles. I'm like, I love this woman.
She was definitely a great, strong female character.
Yes.
Great.
But it's a believable
And it
arc,
is
though, isn't it?
believable.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
when you know, another thing I did enjoy when Shane absolutely battered her husband. You know, when he left him in bits on the side of the lake there. That was.
Yep.
I always enjoy seeing things like that.
Yeah.
But as I say, there's not enough of that. I mean, the Hunger Games. She's not a bare knuckle fighter taking on 300-pound geezers. She is a skilled huntress
Uh-huh.
who uses that skill to wipe out everybody.
Yes.
You know, that's believable.
It's believable.
Sarah Connor's believable. Sigourney
Yes.
Weaver's believable. But, you know, seeing Kirsten and all, you know, the other women in the Charlie's Angels thing, and they're just, you know, they're kicking the blokes in the head, and you just don't feel it very much.
Even something that I would consider a good movie, as for example, The Replacement Killers.
Yeah. Yep.
Chow Yun Fat, awesome, incredible. But Mira Sorvino, as a badass chick, no, sorry. She's
Brilliant actress.
Brilliant actress, but I didn't buy it, not for a second.
No.
She did start out as just like his help, right? Like fake.
Yeah, she was a forger. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then all of a sudden the bad guys come to get Chow Yun Fat, and all of a sudden she's like,
No.
Neo from the Matrix in.
Yeah.
I probably
Yeah,
then
just
shouldn't
make it
bring up.
believable. You know, the thing is that us women, we understand where we are. We understand not necessarily that we're the weaker species, but that we might not have the fight instinct that men have initially. However, you get us with our children, that's a whole nother ballgame. But
Yeah, exactly.
we're just single ladies, you know, make it believable, like in Aliens, Sarah Connor, you know, all that stuff. Carol from The Walking Dead.
Says the woman with the unicorn hat.
Well, that just means she's going to headbutt at a running start.
We still like to be pretty.
She's telling us she'll bore us if we get out of line.
like some of that cabin in the woods where the old scientist at the end gets his guts ripped out by the unicorn.
That is such a great movie.
I love it. I love it.
And in all reality,
I never understood those bingo memes until I saw Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, it's so good. Who
And
had
in all
Murder
reality-
Hornets for June?
Yep.
If we're talking
Who had? Sorry, Scott, carry on, bud.
Are just some of us women are just not we're more sadistic than you men sometimes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And
You're more vicious.
I
You're
would like
vicious
to
than we are.
see,
Yeah.
you know, more of that, you know, because it's been so faux pas for us women to, you know, be able to express our feelings when whether we're angry, whether we're happy, whether, you know, we have an image that we have to uphold. But if you're gonna make a female a badass female, do like Carol, because I'm sorry, I'll leave your fucking little brat out in the goddamn woods if I need to. That is how it is. Some of us are pretty sadistic. I'll fucking cut your balls off and feed them to you down your throat. Some of us are pretty sadistic.
Right there. This is why we're friends. This is
we need to write the Jen character now. Done.
Yeah.
Why am I picturing her as the girlfriend in that Michael Douglas movie? Remember the one where he has the
Oh,
affair and then she like
yes.
hunts him down and boils the family rabbit?
Okay,
I
hey,
could.
Jen,
Oh, God.
I could.
you need to work on your alibis when they go to ask questions.
I
Yeah.
got alibis for
the-
days, baby. I got alibis for days.
I was gonna say because Scott figured you out and it's out there now. So you gotta
But I'm just saying, we're a pretty sadistic species. We can fuck your life up in ways you can't even imagine.
No.
And the thing is that it's so dubious that you'll never see it coming. And we're cunning. We're like cats. We'll get in there. You will have no idea. That's only a small portion of us, though. Small portion of women that are that evil.
And
It's
then those of you
becoming.
that are into true crime now.
And I've dated about half of them.
Yeah, those are poor odds there, Jeff.
I'm supposed to say I'm terrified right now.
It's okay.
I'm enjoying myself. I'm not going to lie.
Feed it to you at some point in your life.
She delivered that whole thing with a unicorn horn on her head, and I still can't. I can't.
Like right now, my asshole.
That'll be her mugshot.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
miss the
Please
opportunity.
wear the unicorn thing in my mugshot, please.
Yeah.
If you talk about women, Lorena Bobbitt, I admire her for what she did.
Yeah. You would
And I don't
Yeah.
remember her name, but I remember that she went to a hotel, found her husband with another woman, and she claimed that while she was storming away, she accidentally ran over him in her Cadillac. Then they
14
got
times.
the security camera footage. She was doing donuts on the motherfucker.
I remember that one. It was some like 50-year-old lady, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm just saying to myself,
Listen,
damn. Yeah.
after 40 years old, we give zero fucks.
Yeah.
Zero.
And I'm just
I
thinking,
don't
I'm just
care.
thinking to myself, man, that woman, I admire her.
Hey,
The thing is, though,
Stay faithful.
as writers,
hey, Jennifer, just make
myself,
sure
Scott,
your husband has
Ricky,
nothing to worry about from me.
we couldn't write a character like that. We
No.
get so much hate for doing it. Jen could write the shit out of a character like that.
Yeah.
She'd be a hero.
I would be a hero.
I am tired of these
that's
double standards.
Standard about the whole thing. It's a double standard. It sucks, but it's true. It's real life.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's just the whole thing. If you ever have an idea like that, now you have somebody to pitch it to.
Hey,
Like, hey, so I got this really fucked up idea.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I gotta slow down.
Well, if we're talking female characters, should we bring up the new She-Hulk?
Oh, please don't.
Joking.
I have no
Oh.
idea.
I
I
haven't
might
seen
even
it
check
yet.
it.
Please don't.
I've only
There's
seen the
mixed reviews on
trailer.
that one, but apparently no
I
one
haven't even
here
seen the
likes it.
trailer.
No, the
Don't-
trailer they had to
don't
fix.
even bother,
Apparently they
Jeff.
released the one with the bad CGI and they went back and fixed it but didn't tell anybody.
I heard
Well,
about them fixing the CGI.
Period.
just the way that they talk is just.
Yeah. I
Who
get
is this? Who is this for? You're going to have like 87 viewers, and you've paid 50 million for this. Well done.
They're
Yeah.
killing the franchise.
Yeah.
Well,
They-
they're-
and
what-
they're not
what-
only that, they're donutting on the corpse in the car park out the front of the hotel.
That's it.
I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Men, when you're writing your female characters, your female, whether they're main characters or what have you, what do you clothe them in?
As little as possible.
Why?
Look, straight
It's
answer.
the, it's the apocalypse. If games, as I was growing up, taught me anything, women fight best when they are wearing the skimpiest bikini possible.
Oh my fucking god, I'm
Like,
dying.
playing Golden Axe in the arcades when I was younger. You've got the dwarf and you've got the warrior. He's in his little blue loincloth. Is it blue loincloth? I forget. And then you've got the Amazonian woman, and she's in a bikini. And it's like it's to allow the body free movement. If you've got a full set of plate mail on, you're more at risk of getting caught. So the lighter that you can keep them in terms of their. No, I'm joking. No, they all wear normal stuff, but I get where you're coming from. It's
So
And
in
that's
other
my
words,
point.
in other words, it would be best if they were completely naked.
You know, the
I'm only
funny thing
thinking in
is,
terms of combat, Jeff.
Well,
If you haven't
in all
got bra
seriousness-
and knickers on, you're bound. You've got to be about 5 or 6% more combat effective.
I used
In
to
all
play a
seriousness-
video game that had the main character was a Japanese female who wore cowboy boots, bikini, a hat, and a scarf, and she killed zombies with a samurai sword. And like
Oh,
after about a day, it was like, this is friggin' boring. I went and did something
In all
fun.
seriousness, it's probably just stereotypes. Listen to the jokes men tell.
Yeah.
There you
oh
go.
my god.
So
And
you
the
got
thing
like the
is that
sheepish.
I would much rather read about a girl who is a
Hi,
woman
Dan.
who is fully clothed. Hey Dan,
Hi,
a woman
Dan.
who is fully clothed, who ends up getting her clothes ripped off of her. I'd rather read that than a bikini clad female who is like, trying to run away from zombies and they can't grab her because she doesn't have any extra clothing. I'm that type of
See,
person.
it's safety as well, Jen.
Yes.
I'm just trying to keep you alive. That's all I'm
Right.
doing.
Well, what I
If
was
you've got a bra and knickers, that is 2 weaknesses on your back right there. Without those straps, they cannot get a purchase on your skin, and you get away.
But you still run in high heels. So.
That's right.
Absolutely.
yeah, and
I've
that's
never
another
understood
thing.
that. That
cannot-
really annoys me.
What is wrong with you guys?
I'm not a real author like you guys. I've come up with characters before, but they always end up being some sort of stereotype. It'd be like the sheepish, shy librarian chick, or the angry one that had something done wrong to her, doesn't take any shit, but she's still kind of emotional. Okay, I think you know something about that.
Me?
Shots fired.
But you know what I mean? Think of every man joke you've ever heard where they talk about their wife, their girlfriend, whoever.
Blonde.
It's gonna show up in a character
stupid.
somewhere.
And I get there's tropes out there and stuff like that. And I'm even trying. I find in my first book, I've got 2 female main characters and a guy who just got introduced. So and so far right now, I see myself making him the dumb one. And I'm really battling against that because I don't want to do that, because I think everyone, I think everyone has value.
Hey, okay, think about it. It's how you spin it.
Frightened
Bit
Jason.
dusty.
It's how you spin it.
And that's the thing. I think everyone has value, and I don't want to devalue males in general. I don't want it to be one of those books that's like all female power, blah blah blah. We're a feminist, blah blah blah.
So
I want it to be it, but I catch myself going that ridiculous trope of where, we got a strong female character, the man's a bitch.
Okay, you're not going to devalue the man by simply just saying it's not that he's dumb, it's not that he's useless, just lacks critical thinking. He goes with that first idea he's got, and that's it. Think of how
And he
many
doesn't
men
even
there
go with that so far. He hasn't even tried to hit on any of these girls. I'm like, this is a character that I made in my mind. How in the hell is he not attracted, although these women are like 10, 15 years older than him?
Is it the apocalypse?
He's gay.
And before we get too far carried away, let's welcome our newest participant, Ed the Dad.
Hello.
What the fuck did you walk into, Ed?
I'm sorry.
I need to get the hat.
I don't know. Walked into a feminist there, Jennifer.
Far from it. Don't let the unicorn horn intimidate you.
Yeah,
She did a good job in her Ultra Undead with a stronger man character and a strong female character.
You guys, if I'm ever on camera anywhere near her, you're going to see rings hitting the top of that thing. I swear. Really bugging me now.
Make sure I stand it up for you there, Buckwheat.
Make sure your soldier's at attention for me. Thanks, honey.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Every time I see you there, big boy.
Yeah, there it is. Make it awkward for everybody because we're
She
fucked
does
up.
that while she plays with her horned penis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I'm only going to get worried when she starts doing that and mayonnaise comes out of the end.
All over.
Yeah, no. What they done exactly what you're talking about, Jen, in Ghostbusters 2016, didn't they? With Chris is it Chris Hemsworth in there? I don't know. One of
Oh
them.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they made
And
him an
he's
idiot.
just a moron. You
He's
just like
don't just. It's one of those. Shh, don't talk. Just stand there.
yeah, it's like okay, you know, he does look good, you know. And if it was the apocalypse and we were the only two people left, you know, I'm not saying that I wouldn't, you know, maybe take him out dinner and a movie, you know, see where it went. But as a movie, it just that took me out of it completely. There's no, you don't need.
It really does.
You can have. I mean, in my book, all the women in it are just as brutal and strong as the men. When you get to eventually meet the Traveller clan, the matriarch, Mrs. Hampton, she is the most psychopathic, evil woman you'll ever meet in your life. You don't have to have weak women and strong men, because some of the books I've read, you know, the women are basically just completely helpless and this, that, and the other. But realistically, you know, when their families are involved, like you were talking about earlier, women will be just as brutal, if not more so, than blokes. You know, because they've got the maternal instinct. They what was it they'd say? I watched Role Models the other day. The mum of Ronnie, she's like, I'm a tigress. I'll tear your shit up if you hurt my son.
Yeah.
You know, I'd much prefer writing strong female characters. That, you know, some of them are obviously utterly psychotic, but they can all handle themselves. I've got a sort of near retirement age female teacher called Gloria Bloom, and she's an absolute badass. You know, everyone, you know, that sort of gets further in the series loves her.
I like the double standard, because like if I did it where I had a male being the lesser, being the bitch of the group, I'd be looked at as, oh, female power, feminine power. You're a hero, Jen. But if you did it to where there was a damsel in distress, they'd look at you like, oh, you're doing the same old shit that they've done all these years. I don't like that. I don't like that we have a double standard, and I don't think it's fair. Not only for you, the train's done been crashed, Dan. I don't like that for men. It's not fair. It's not fair for you guys right now. It hasn't been for a long
time. One of the greatest lines from any movie. Get away from her, you bitch.
Yeah. I love writing strong female characters. I mean, occasionally,
it's so much more interesting.
Occasionally, if you've got a large cast, you've got to throw in weak characters.
You do,
whether it's male, whether it's female. You know, like in the last couple of chapters of the Chronicles of Paul, I introduced, they save a girl who's in high heels and an evening gown. And, you know, you think she's like, oh, she's this, you know, she's this prim, proper, wealthy person. I'm planning on making her eventually get to that point where she's, you know, becomes a badass. But she's going to, you know, you have to start out. You know, very rarely do you start a book where, you know, Bob, the former Navy SEAL who spent 3 years working for the CIA in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, and has his house prepped. You know, nobody buys that anymore.
But they don't call it a character straight line. They call it
exactly.
Arc.
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess, is there ever too much when you're writing a character? Is there such thing as too much detail, too much information?
Oh,
yes.
Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy?
Too much, way too much fucking detail.
Yeah.
I've not read any of his stuff. What does he go over the top with?
Any of his tech shit, the atomic bombs.
Yeah, he'll spend like 4 or 5 pages describing how every screw turns.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm not a fan of his books, but I like the games based on them. Okay. Like,
I would imagine
Ghost Recon.
Really
well, they're good story. Well, it's the same thing with like old Jules Verne. Jules Verne's great storyteller. But if you go into something like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or something like that, you get 47 pages about the flora and fauna of the sea bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
but I don't give a rat's ass.
Agreed.
Tom Clancy's books, I loved Hunt for Red October, Red Storm Rising, Cardinal of the Kremlin, but after that, they like the one where Jack Ryan becomes president because he's being made vice president and the Japanese pilot crashes the plane into Congress and everybody dies but him. Like, yeah, that's realistic.
Completely plausible.
Look, here's the thing. Back to the video game call out, not Wildlands, but like The Division. Okay, because apocalyptic. Come on now.
Yeah.
What?
Looks like we lost Ed the Dead. Who is Ed the Dead anyway?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's gone. He'll be back.
Hopefully.
Somebody. But Daniel Bell's in here with us.
But I do want to say one thing. I didn't dislike that Ghostbusters.
What about the new one?
You see, that's what happens when you like crap films. It's frozen him again.
It was a comedy.
The internet disagrees, Scott. The internet, it just froze you. As soon as you said I enjoyed it, you completely froze.
Yeah, that's to rethink that statement. And then stop.
I enjoyed it because it was a comedy. And it was the four strong women, and he was in a comedy, he was the typical dumb blonde. So
yeah, it was just a bit too much for me. I'd rather watch Bridesmaids.
He was just...
I will literally pop a bollock watching Bridesmaids. I'm laughing so much. It's such a good film. The diarrhea scene alone, I am literally falling off my chair laughing.
Look, I don't care who the main character was that movie.
Hey,
Facebook user. Okay.
Hi, Facebook user.
Hello, random citizen.
Hello, you.
Random
Hello, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Oh wait, if it's Mark
cyborg face shit given.
Yeah, so far, Jen is the only one who's put in a bid for those books.
Oh, well,
good.
All right, fine.
So if we're talking funny movies, that woman. Here we go.
I'll get you in a payday or two. Fuck it.
But yeah, go ahead and bid. We're not gonna send somebody to break your kneecaps if you don't give us the money today.
I mean, I'll volunteer to break kneecaps.
Okay, hold on. You know the stories of why that's not going to work. All right, so stop.
Chuck it, keep it going and chuck it in the groups, Jeff. Leave it running.
Jason has thrown down the gauntlet.
No, just keep it quiet.
Keep it quiet?
Yeah, for now. I want her to try to do math.
All right.
Oh, dear.
You leave
Gotta
me
play
alone.
to your strengths.
I can't do math right now. I'm on my second Everclear. Leave me alone.
Oh, come on. When you're sober, you can't do math because numbers is hard.
So what about the latest Ghostbusters? Anybody see that?
Yeah, I watched it the other night. Really enjoyed it.
I mean, it was okay. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Only because it was just it was more for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
It brought back all the memories of the reason I loved the first two. The second one's not quite so great, but the first one, it's that era of movies that will never be reciprocated. They cannot. They try and remake this stuff, but they've lost the magic that made it what it was. No matter what CGI or whatever they do, that the 80s and 90s are unbeatable in terms of just either the comedies or the action. The ham-fisted action where Arnie takes on an entire army of soldiers with a machine gun held under one arm. It's just nonsensical. But you ask anyone of our age group to look back and think, name 10 movies from the 2000s that you really enjoyed. They'll come up blank. You ask them to name 10 movies from the 80s and 90s that they enjoyed. They'll be streaming them off for 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
And they'll still be going.
And then Dad, I think, had the ultimate word. I liked it, so suck it.
Well, you can't argue with that logic.
It was
That's science right there.
It wrapped up the franchise beautifully. I
Yeah,
love the
exactly.
end when the four of them come back and help the kids get rid of the ghosts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was a
that
little
was-
bit choked up when Egon came back. I must admit.
Yes, yeah.
That's what kind of soured it for me because it was so predictable. I mean,
Yeah,
I basically, even when it started out, I'm like, this is how it's going to end. Sure as shit, that's how it's
Yeah.
ended.
Yeah, it won't win any Oscars, but as I say, it got me in the old nostalgia feels.
That's exactly what I thought, Dan.
I thought that, but I was not going to go there. Thanks,
Ricky
Dan.
with the
Ham-fisted.
50.
Do you not use ham-fisted?
No.
No,
You crazy colonials.
this all has a whole other meaning here.
It's
I can tell you all
ham-fisted.
about it.
Ham-fisted.
Ham-fisted, not ham.
Yeah, ham-fisted. Did I say hand-fisted?
Ham. Ham-fisted.
Did I say hand?
Yes.
I must have my mind on
Oh,
other
yeah,
things
God.
after listening to Jen. It's all
all
Jen
in
to talk
there.
about attacking us.
She'll drag everybody there eventually.
Yeah.
That strong
Blame
female
the
character just
unicorn.
pulling everybody down.
You don't got to blame the unicorn. That's just me.
You know, it was funny what he said though about the unrealistic. Just a guy sitting there shooting everybody with a machine gun. And I don't know why I thought back to cult films and Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Where what was it? What the fuck is his name? Don Johnson. He's sitting there and says like, "Oh, this is." He's going over the bullets they're shooting at the bad guys in the movie. Well, you're spending $2 around. I'm spending it. The guy just unloads with a full auto, and he's like, "That guy's spending a fucking fortune."
No, when he was talking about Commando, I remember the classic line at the end. Did you leave us anything? Just bodies.
That movie was
Those
terrible.
were
He
the
needed
best
to let
reasons.
off a little steam.
Those were the best reasons to see a Schwarzenegger movie. The bad
Fantastic.
puns.
The guy he ended up fighting at the end was like the worst bad guy because I was a small kid
Yeah.
seeing him with my dad, and I was just like, no, this is a one-sided fight. I don't care how big that dude is. Like,
Wasn't he a wrestler?
Yeah, I think a wrestler or something was Australian.
Was it
Yeah, I don't remember.
like Bennett in the chainmail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It was
like,
called-
why?
He was dressed like a Judas Priest fan who did like weird sex stuff on the weekend.
Yeah,
And that was before I learned about the truth about Rob Halford as I got older.
But there
Yeah.
were some great lines in that movie. Like,
Yeah.
remember when I said I'd kill you last? I lied.
I lied.
Where's Sully? I let him go.
I know who he was. The bad guy was Vernon Wells.
Was that it?
Humongous from the Road Warrior.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
Ah,
that's right.
guy.
Thing.
Of course,
Right.
yes. Yes, he was.
Without all the
Absolutely. He was in
makeup.
Weird Science as well, wasn't he? He was one of the
Yeah.
bikers at the end.
Yes.
I watched Weird Science repeatedly when I was younger. Purely for the scientific exploration in that film, and absolutely nothing to do with Kelly Brook. Nothing to do with Kelly Brook whatsoever.
Oh, she was beautiful.
Oh my God, I was in love with that woman.
She had that subtle sexiness about that girl
Yeah.
next door sexiness.
Yep. We've got way off topic from monsters, haven't we?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Wait, what are we maybe in?
Monsters.
started
or no?
talking
He's probably talking about me hand fisting myself later.
I don't know. Use lube.
And for a bid of over 150, Ricky will
Less
send you the
friction,
video of
though.
that.
Yes. Yes,
Was it-
1,000%. Yes.
You're not accounting for inflation, though, Scott. I've had to up my prices a little bit, I'm afraid.
God, you guys are killing me. My fucking cheeks hurt.
Well, then you got to drink more alcohol.
I was gonna
That's
say,
right.
Evidently, I'm not doing this right.
I'm leaving that alone.
I will be back.
I'm leaving
Don't
all
you
of that
threaten us
alone.
with a good time.
Sorry, Jack, you asked about Bigfoot, mate. Say again.
I said, is Bigfoot real or not?
What was it I read on
Yes.
Probably Facebook the other day. Apparently, there have been more recent sightings of Bigfoot or Sasquatch type creatures somewhere. I forget. It was on Facebook, so it's bound to be 100% accurate information.
Of course.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm fully in the belief of there are things that on our planet that we have never seen that are out there waiting to be discovered. Yeah, exactly. They're dicks. I'm not going anywhere near them.
These things sit here and fight amongst each other. No, we're good.
My thing is that if they're finding things like they're finding birds and reptiles that they thought were extinct,
Yeah.
what's to say that there's not
I don't-
mermaid, Sasquatch?
Okay, this is my conspiracy theorist coming out.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I am a firm believer that dinosaurs were in fact dragons. Okay, like I don't give a shit.
There's no evidence to say they weren't.
That's right.
Exactly.
So there you go. Your theory
And
may
they
be
found the
correct.
bones all different places, and it's in every different culture's mythology. I don't care.
I mean, at the end of the day, what's not believable about it? We had like 30, 40 foot tall lizard creatures walking the planet.
Right.
What's
I mean,
it's not
even
really a
now-
stretch to move to dragons.
Have you seen a Gila monster?
Yeah.
Oh.
Them
See, I
things
just don't like
are
the new
ridiculous.
scientific discoveries that say that the dinosaurs were covered with feathers. That just blows the shit out of all the movies I watched as a kid.
Yeah, Jurassic Park with
Park is not going to look good if he's
Well,
like
now you got to rethink it too. Like their mating ritual was like a peacock and shit. Like,
oh,
Why?
so many
Okay,
good
I have a
memories
conspiracy.
gone
Oh,
now.
Jesus.
He has nothing
Where's
to do
that
with it. I assure
conductor
you.
hat? I need the whistle.
Yeah, Jack, come on, maintain control.
Gotta wait. Hang on.
I posted
He's
a
on
meme
a like
years
a
ago. I gotta-
5-minute delay because he's
I
been
posted a
drinking.
meme years ago. I got to find it to repost
There
it.
you go.
Archaeologists
There
dig
you
up,
go.
archaeologists dig up a dinosaur holding a Bible.
Well, I mean, going back to conspiracy theories, what are your opinions on, this is our, second, third, fourth iteration of humanity, and we always wipe ourselves out back to the Stone Age and then come back again?
I believe that 100%.
That was on one of the groups I was on the other day. Some of the stuff that's out there, that how it's been created in the time that it was created is almost impossible. Blah 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 blah. The other thing that fascinates me that's going on at the minute is all the UFO stuff being released.
Yeah,
that fascinates the hell out of me.
What makes me wonder is, first of all, they changed it. It's no longer UFOs; it's unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah.
So now they can admit it without saying UFOs were real, and I think they're getting ready to open up and tell us a lot of information.
They've been leaking it slowly. I think
Yeah.
they're trying to make it so that we're not freaking out and that it's total anarchy or anything like that. So
But they figured after the last 2 years, nothing's going to screw us up. So
I mean, how much more could we be screwed up as it is?
Yeah.
I mean, we're already probably pretty close in the toilet.
Yeah,
Hey,
Bill Gates.
Dan!
Hey,
Oh,
guys.
Dan!
Good to see you. Hi, Scott.
Bill Gates is definitely a lizard alien.
It's all horseshit anyway because
Becky, fuck, I'd batter her.
unidentified flying object was accurate.
Yeah.
It's a flying object that we haven't identified.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean
So
it's
it's all about-
alien, it's just unidentified.
I mean, it brings up 2 points, doesn't it? One, that they don't abide by any of our known laws of physics. The other side of it, which is a bit more positive, is if they have made contact and we are slowly being drip fed to eventually uncover it, it means they are not the type of aliens that would literally crush us like a bug under the heel. Because if they wanted our stuff and they've got the technology to do that, a few 9mm rounds would do little to dissuade them, I would say.
Correct.
So if they are going to start revealing themselves, I'm going to be that crazy chick on top of the old building with the old banner.
Before you do
And I
that,
don't get blown up.
watch last.
But I've watched a lot of ufology stuff, the documentaries and stuff from the UK. There's a guy who was the Minister of Defense named Nick Pope,
Yeah.
He's on their stuff all the time about UFO cover-ups and stuff like that. And I, just having, I don't know, to me, it's like having someone else from a different area of the world that says, yeah, we had, multiple things happen. There was a forest out there where, a couple of military people had run into an actual UFO, had some issues. There was another guy who captured in some meadow park area out in the UK who captured an actual being. Some guy in a spacesuit, looked like an alien to me.
That was just a pisshead from Scunthorpe.
Oh, okay. So they did debunk that. But I mean, it's. I think that they've been here for an awfully long time, and I think it started when we started dropping nukes and started testing nukes. Because since then, like the whole LA thing where they had a weather balloon over LA, I guess, at some point in the 40s. Yeah. And they went, it was the military just said it was a weather balloon, even though they were the ones who were shooting at it. I think they're slowly letting us know that, okay, yeah, we have been dealing with extraterrestrials for a very long time. And I think now you guys are grown enough to know now.
See, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I think this is how.
Wait a minute. We've grown enough? Have you seen the state of the world today?
I think it's more of a look at this shiny thing while I do this shady shit over here.
I've been alive for 6 decades. Trust me, the state of the human mental capacity has gone down.
No doubt.
Has gone down in the last 61 years.
It's my opinion that the government, whenever they're going to introduce something new, it's a break-in procedure. Because think about it. Think how fast everything will go to shit if you just say, oh, crap, we have aliens. Everybody's going to lose it. But we have somebody on the panel that might have some insight. Scott, what we got? What can you tell? Not about UFOs. What can you tell us as you being an analysis? What can you tell us?
I think they're getting ready to release the information. They've got the panel. They did about a year ago. They did the Navy released the aerial footage. Now they're having the panel. The fact that they're changing the name to UAPs is a sort of a sign to me.
Kind of telling.
Yeah, because to me it's like they're trying to get rid of that stigma of UFOs like Mars attack, so we don't all think people are going to blow us up. I think it's coming. I want to say one thing, Ricky, before you climb to the top of that building, watch last season's American Horror Story, the second part of it, which deals with the presidents of the United States and the aliens. It is fucked up, bizarre, and twisted.
Is that the cult?
No,
this is the one where you find out why Eisenhower met the aliens and the deal that was made.
It's not American Horror Story. It's American Horror Stories. It's
Story.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
we got the title cop here.
Same thing, but it's an offshoot. I personally did not like it at all. I thought it sucked.
I'll look it up. Does this tie in? I mean, when you think back to just the past 2,000 years, up until what, the 1900s, the pace of technological, discovery and advancement was slow but sure.
Yeah.
1900 to 1950, pretty fast when we learned to kill each other better. And then you think from 1950 to now, is it human ingenuity or has it been a guiding hand somewhere behind giving us a little nudge in the right direction? I mean, obviously,
reverse engineering.
We got help. We got help because, I mean, think back, even 30 years ago? There's a picture of it. It's a meme online. A camera, a box, a bunch of other shit. You now carry all of that in your phone. And this thing is more powerful than the computer that put us on the moon.
Yeah. That's because
The problem-
makes me think that it is something is coming. Obviously, we've got our politicians in charge at the minute, which scares the shit out of me because why would they talk to those morons? You know, let's be honest. There's not one among them who I'd trust to meet a species from another planet. And this this is our best and brightest here. They're going to negotiate on 8 million people's behalf.
That right there is why I think so much of this is horseshit. the whole conspiracy theory thing. It relies on the government being able to keep a secret.
Yeah.
Hold on.
When
Not
has
necessarily
the government ever been able to keep a
Say,
secret?
Taking the conspiracy even further, is it the government behind the government that is keeping the secret?
Like a smaller, offshoot of the main government.
See, now I think our government could keep
Maybe not even the Illuminati, but you look at Biden, you look at Trump, you look at our Boris Johnson, you look at Keir Starmer. So the two leaders of your parties, the two leaders of our parties, that's the best 8 billion people can offer.
Yeah.
Really,
I know I'm not the first
trust them
person
to
claim
run a
this.
bath.
We don't claim that dude. All right.
No, I mean, I don't claim any of them, but I'm a firm believer there's got to be some people behind the scenes making decisions because these people aren't intelligent enough to.
Well, I do agree with Jeff. That is always the two things that have always made me suspicious is we've got cameras now that you can use this to make a movie.
Yeah.
And yet nobody has got a clear, accurate photograph of Bigfoot.
Big point right there.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And like
That
Jeff
is a
said,
torpedo
there's
below the waterline there.
so many people that would have to be in on this secret.
Yeah.
The more people who know it, the harder it is to continue. Now, granted, maybe people like Pope are coming out and violating national security, and they're not going to prosecute them because if they do, people are going to go, well, why are they prosecuting them?
Right. Bigger cover up.
I did. Jeff and some of the others heard the story. My cousin is a huge conspiracy theorist. And since he knows I work for the CIA, he's always asking me what I know. And one day, him and a friend of his were talking about how they never got to the moon. It was all faked. It was done by Kubrick in a Hollywood studio. And I pretended to get mad at him and told him he has no idea what he's talking about. We made it to the moon because it was part of the bargain. We gave them asylum. They gave us the technology. It's why we did it, and the Russians and the Japanese, and no one else could. So.
Yes.
I think Family Guy handled it the best. Where there's an episode where, I forget, Buzz Aldrin or whatever it is, one of the guys. Some guys walking like down the back lot of Universal Studios, and he's like, "Aren't you meant to be in space?" And the astronaut that's meant to be up there like batters him over the head with an iron bar and chucks his body in the trunk kind of thing. Jeff's point completely torpedoes the, is our government clever enough to maintain secrecy over something so astronomically incredible when they can't even run a bath properly? I would check it. I'd check the temperature before I got in. I'll be like, you've not done it.
And I disagree with all of you. I disagree. I think that they can.
Look at something like the Pentagon Papers. The Pentagon Papers. All it was a report done by the Rand Corporation laying out the history of our involvement with Vietnam. They couldn't even keep that secret.
No.
See, I disagree. I'm of the mind where I'm sure that we get daily threats and daily attacks on our country that we don't know about.
Well, yeah, little shit, sure.
You're talking about the Carillion Death Cruiser again, and from Men in Black, aren't you? Carillion Death Cruiser.
I really believe that our government, if they really wanted to, they really can keep a secret, something like that. And that's that. I mean, I know I've not worked in the government or I've not worked with the military or anything like that. So this is coming from just a completely stupid person's regular Joe, everyday average Joe. I do believe that if they wanted to bad enough, they could keep a rap on it. I do believe that some people who end up going missing are missing for a reason. I think that, if people were going to attempt to blow the whistle, they'd off you first. And I really believe that our government really could keep something like that under wraps until they wanted it brought out. I might be in the minority. Apparently, on today I am.
No.
But,
No, no. I mean, on the other side of things, we're looking at it from the perspective of can the government keep secrets? It's not the government. It's not the government that we're worried about. We're on about maintaining the secrecy of a species that can travel the universe.
Yeah.
We're not relying on Biden, Trump, Johnson, or Starmer. We're relying on creatures that have mastered interstellar travel.
But look at something like probably the biggest secret of World War II, the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
When Truman told Stalin about the successful test, Stalin already knew. Stalin already knew about the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
That's the Manhattan Project.
Yeah,
That's the biggest secret we've ever had, and we couldn't keep it.
See, I would like to think if the aliens visited us, it would be Michael Rennie from Day the Earth Stood Still. It would be stoic. He'd be, giving. My fear is it's going to be Marvin the Martian.
Plutonium space modulator.
I'm going to blow up Earth. It's obstructing my vision of Venus. Isn't that wonderful?
I remember that shit.
Yeah, I'm a kid in a candy store. I think I'd love it if there was more life out there. Think of what it would do to the human species, knowing that we can strive for better rather than just bickering amongst each other.
I don't buy the argument that it would cause chaos if they suddenly said that there's aliens out there. I don't buy it for a second.
I disagree.
do.
Yeah,
I know it's not the fear of the fact that the aliens are here. To most people, that's an opportunity. Go ahead, Jack. Go ahead. I gotta hear what you got to say. Come on. Oh, Jack.
He's gone.
Okay, so I say cut him off.
I know
it's not that. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that are scared to death, but that's not going to be a thing. It's going to be the opportunist.
Yeah.
The people that's like, this is a reason for me to go break into Best Buy, steal all the shit I want, even though it's not going to do you any good. I mean, people don't think right. Look at 2020 and all the riots and bullshit that happened.
Yeah. But now, okay, let's look at the government in another way. Suppose the government's decided we fucked everything up. Inflation, our poll numbers are in 30%. Everybody hates us for everything. We need a common enemy.
Yes.
And they all come out and say,
can I take that a step further?
Sure.
You go on.
I know that most of you are not going to agree. But listen, this is my thought. From the time I was born, I was taught my country is the country. This religion is the right religion. Yes. We are literally programmed in, this is it. But then when you grow up and you learn that everybody else in the world are all human beings and they all think the same way, this is what countries do to become a country. You got to get your people rallied. Hey, Britain's awesome. We like them, but fuck those guys over in Russia.
Yeah, we're not very good. I'm not going to stick up for us at the minute. I've come down shit at a rate of knots.
It's all right. You got same kind of mentality over here. Trust me.
Oh, really? I said something intelligent. Is that what you're all saying?
You did.
No, it is.
I agree with you, Dan.
Thank you, Jen.
My 6 years overseas with the government were the most eye-opening of my time.
Mm-hmm. See, my time in the Navy, overseas, and everything that entailed, mind-bending.
Yes.
Look, the only thing I think of when people talk about intelligent life out in the universe and whether or not, I'm sure everyone here has seen the Muppets at least once. They're the two old men in the balcony.
Love them.
All right, that's what it is. That's what we're dealing with. They're like, look at these bunch of fucksticks. They can't get their shit together. They're fighting with each other all the time.
We're locking the doors on the way by.
Yeah, we are the reality TV show of the universe, aren't we?
Exactly.
Friday
Yeah,
night,
that's
7 o'clock.
Exactly. And
Because the
what I'm
aliens-
afraid of is the 2020s of the season finale. So- All right, how are we going to screw them up?
So let me ask you guys this.
Death
Well,
right.
it didn't work. Let's get monkeypox. We'll try that.
Oh God, some of the best memes ever are right now on monkeypox.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, why are the aliens, just because they did interstellar travel, why are they considered like more intelligent than the rest of us? Have you guys not seen what was that movie? I had this on my mind.
A mind is a terrible thing. And it must be stopped in our
Peter
lifetime.
Jackson's first film, Bad Taste.
Bad
Have
taste.
you guys- I mean, that's literally saying that all these aliens, they're just like us on an intergalactic level. It's all corporate greed. What makes them better other than the travel? So I don't know what to think about this, but I have always believed there is life out there, and it's probably sound here too.
Technologically
follow-
superior doesn't mean better.
If you follow the Carl Sagan model, just the numbers alone, the sheer numbers alone, the odds of there not being intelligent life elsewhere in the universe they're not even worth calculating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
There has to be some other intelligent life out there. However, the distances are so vast that
The proof is right here. We got 6 of the most intelligent of our species.
We're talking about the audience right
especially
now.
the unicorn woman.
Yeah, that is the nicest
There has
thing
to be
anybody's
life.
ever said to me.
There has to be. Whether it's here or not, that's what you guys choose to. Everybody has to choose what they want to believe, but there's got to be more life out there.
Oh
And
yeah,
I hope that
definitely.
God is not like alien covenant. That's gonna be fucked up.
Thing is, we look at the distances in terms of what we know as our reality. You think back 1,000 years ago. What do you think the spaceships would be to the people of 1,000 years ago?
oh yeah.
Where
Pretty
would
much the
we
same
be
as
in another?
here.
I would say where would we be in another 1,000 years? But we'd probably be back in another lockdown with inflation at 690%. With Bill Gates, the Terminator machine, because he's managed to work out how to live forever, giving us our 1,000th vaccine shot.
And Zuckerberg's head on a machine story.
Future armor. All those gimps in the Davos will be in those little floating heads.
Yeah,
The future armor.
And people will still be hoarding toilet paper.
Oh, I've got so many toilet rolls. I've
At
got
that
so
point-
many toilet rolls.
At that
I gotta
point,
ask you a
they
question.
had reanimated Walt Disney.
Well, exactly. His corpse is somewhere, isn't it? Stored, frozen, or something?
I don't know.
I
I
think
Oh,
really-
really? Cryogenics.
Ted Williams' head
Cryogenic.
is Ted Williams' head.
I'm
has
sorry.
been
I
stored
just
cryogenically.
I can't stand Disney anymore. They're just so off the wall.
Yeah, they're crazy.
They're destroying the Marvel franchise. They're destroying the Star Wars franchise. If they
Now
want
they
me
own
back,
Alien. They own
if
Alien
they want
now.
me back,
That's
they
what I
own
was
Alien.
about to
I
say.
want Alien Queen as a Disney princess. I want her in the parade with Snow White. The rest
Oh my god.
Look, on that note, technically Loki is a Disney princess, and if you've read it, you know why I say that.
Yeah, what happened to him as well? Jesus.
Well, I'm just saying, in the myths, he gave birth to a horse and a snake and a couple other things.
Well, it's like everyone, they beat the shit out of The Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead started bad. It got better.
It got way
liked-
better.
I liked it when Morgan joined. Then they
Yeah,
did
I know.
the other one. I can't even think of the name of it. The Walking Dead Babies.
Yeah,
Zed
moving
Nation.
on. I never got into it.
I
never
couldn't even
watched that.
watch it. Did you?
Okay, to try and bring this thing back to monsters.
Oh my God!
Good
It's
luck.
a monster show.
You have-
Disney.
You
Look
have
at,
five of them sitting here.
here's a question that's kind of plagued me. You have alien, the species. Okay, they're killing machines. They're like sharks. That's what they do is they breed and they kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do they get around space?
Like any good.
I don't see those things operating in a spaceship. They're too busy dripping drool and acid.
But
if a worm can be frozen for 40,000 years and then come back to life, what's to say they can't be on a meteor hit planet that's going through space and they're frozen and they reanimate when they hit a suitable atmosphere?
Okay.
Well, aren't they? They're a parasitic breed.
Yeah.
Okay. So they can only live if they have a host.
But in the movie Alien, they find them on a ship.
Yes.
Stored,
That has been
and the
overrun.
ship had a different pilot.
Yeah.
Yes.
The pilot wasn't an alien. So
Which is where we got Prometheus from.
Exactly.
But Prometheus was a shit movie.
It was a garbage movie, but it gave you the background.
I finished sort of 2.5. 3 was okay, but Alien finished at Aliens as far as I'm concerned.
The woman that played in Prometheus, I want to strangle her and punch her in her face while the I do not like that main
Girl
character.
power.
Yeah,
I could deal with Prometheus.
Stick together. Let me beat you in your face. No,
Until they
I
took the
did
ship-
not like her at all, and I thought she was a terrible heroine.
Yeah,
And then they took the ship and then they moved it. It was like, why did you bother with that shit? That was
Yes.
what but by then the movie was over. So
Yeah.
The whole thing with that is, and all I could think of it, now mind you, I'm like a gamer and a comic book fan and all that from when I was doing all that shit. When I watched Prometheus, all I could think of is like this was probably some writer or whoever had come up with the concept that think about what it is. If you were to drop a couple of those pods, you could effectively wipe out a planet. So what if it was just a weapon that was engineered and it went fucking sideways like they all seem to?
This goes back to that alien conversation we just got through with.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like us. They're developing bullshit. They're out there fucking people up, and then all of a sudden, boom! It backfired. Damn.
Right.
I want to see alien memes. I want to see the memes that that they're coming up with. I bet their meme game is strong.
You know what? I saw a new one today, and it's a hand drawn of from Aliens 2 with the Queen, and then you remember the scene where the Queen put the tail up in Bishop, the robot?
Yeah.
It says, Queen takes Bishop.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Too
so
soon.
Now, personally, I thought Alien 3 wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a very good alien movie. But taken on its own, it's not a bad movie.
I liked Alien 3.
Yeah, I've got no real problem with it, but after the first two, where it's like eating a really good burger and then having another really even better burger, and then like McDonald's just gives you the bun and 3 gherkins.
Well, yeah, I mean you've got one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
It's going to sustain me, but
followed by one of the greatest action movies of all time. How do you top those? You don't.
You can't. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? You can't. Like I say,
and they haven't topped it yet.
No,
but they're trying. But Disney's going to fuck it.
Yeah, Disney's doing another Alien movie, but it won't have Ripley.
Yeah,
Alien
always
Ripley
find a way.
just sucks. So
Okay, listen, if they're going to go with a new Alien movie without Ripley, they're going to have to do the graphic novel Earth Wars. Have any of you seen it or read it?
No.
Guys, I think you can find this on Kindle. It's an awesome story. As a matter of fact, it literally, a lot of stuff that happened in that kind of turned into Alien 3 with all the traps and shit. It's pretty badass. Hey, listen, we're talking about monsters. I had to go take care of some stuff. I came in late, and when I came in, it was all about men versus women.
Nah,
So we're going to talk
I can
monsters.
always get the
I got
conversation
one
off
of
of weird
What's that?
random topics.
Yeah, I
She
know.
started it.
Train just never left the station. Because I have Scott Baker here. I want to talk old school monsters. I know, I'm sure you guys have already done that. Jeff, Scott, me, we're the old guys here. 1950s, big bug movies, 1960s, 70s were awesome. I want to bring, I read Yetsu. Is that the way that you say it? Yetsu?
I think Scott's
Everybody
He's
frozen.
frozen again.
Froze?
We've lost him. Oh,
There
he's
you
back
are.
here.
Back.
He was shooting up.
Yeah.
Scott, is it pronounced Yetsu?
Yaitzo.
Yaitzo. Okay,
Yaitzo.
so have you all read Yaitzo?
No, I have not.
Nope.
Okay. I should probably let Scott give you the synopsis, but in the category monsters, this is where me and Scott are like fucking brothers when it comes to monster movies. Go ahead, Scott.
It's a throwback to the 1950s big monster movies. A New York cop can't stand his daughter, who's like 16, living in the big city. He takes a job out at Los Alamos as the deputy, as the sheriff. Something starts killing people grotesquely throughout the countryside, and he teams up with a local Native American police force to try to determine what it is. And it's like the 1950 movies. You know, you see the trails, you see the traces, you find out what it is during around a third of the way through the book. Then the military and the local authorities get together to try to defeat it, and then there's the big battle at the end. It's one of my few books that a 12-year-old could read.
I know, and I'm 59, and it took me like fucking 3 months. Either way, when I meet you somewhere, Scott, that's the book I'm gonna have you sign.
All
right.
right.
I brought this up for a reason. Monster movies, used to be something that you couldn't see. And before we did movies about serial killers and all the other monsters of the planet. And this is one of the things I really love. Scott took this 1950s cheeseball shit and turned it into a really terrifying fucking novel.
Thank you.
He did not hold back on the gore. It was like reading one of his zombie novels. Hell, it was awesome. So
there were some great 50s bug-eyed like them.
Yeah,
Awesome
this all started,
Awesome
and then
movie.
in the 70s, we got Food of the Gods, which I just recently watched again, and now it's ridiculous. But when I saw it as a kid, fucking did not sleep for 3 nights. Walked around my house looking out the window, going, "Where are those big fucking rats at?"
You want a bad 70s movie? Giant spider invasion. You remember that?
Yeah, Jeff.
Eight-legged freaks.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that was the best comedy of big bug movies. I gotta throw Godzilla in here.
Yes.
I've been working on my room, and I'm putting up my shelves for all my media. I have every Japanese Godzilla with subtitles off Laserdisc.
Yeah.
Scott, I know you love them too.
I even like the original Godzilla Americanized with Raymond Burr.
Raymond Burr, yeah.
It was okay, but when I saw the original Godzilla with subtitles, I realized that movie was scary.
Yeah.
When they added Raymond Burr, it just took it all away. But when he goes rampaging through Tokyo and there's nobody interrupting, oh my God, I was like getting chills down my spine.
This is what freaks me out about big monster movies. They destroy places. I mean, the tropes of today, they always get some Asian actor to look up going, "Oh, fuck." It's a joke. Even as an adult, I watched some of this Cloverfield. Not the best movie ever. At the same time, I'm like, what the fuck would happen if that bitch showed up in San Antonio and I'm in the stomp zone? I got nowhere to go.
Put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
Pacific
If
Rim.
I'm going to put my head
Yeah.
between my legs, I'm
Mm.
going to recite a prayer. I'm not going to do anything weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, guys, we have 9 minutes left.
Really?
I was just going to bring up,
9 minutes of the 7-hour Odyssey.
Wow. That was
Oh,
quick.
Yeah. That was fast. I hope it was good for you.
I mean, it was okay.
You guys put it in a coma.
As soon as I went hand-fisted, it got a lot better.
Go ahead, Rick.
No, I was just going to say, I would give anything to like bring back the excitement I used to feel when I'd like rifle through the old TV guide, and you'd have the monster movies from the 50s and the 60s, and then you'd have the Hammer horrors. You'd have like Bride of Dracula and Bride of Dracula's dog, and then Bride of Dracula's dog's dog walker. House of Usher. Nothing on TV. Is it just you getting older and you don't?
No, the world has changed.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Waiting for them. I used to love waiting for that sort of stuff. And
It's a little bit of both. We got movies on demand now. We can go to any Hulu, Netflix. You can HBO Max. You can get movies on demand through cable if you wanted to. You can see whatever you want right now.
Instant.
We're in the instant gratification age.
Yeah. As a culture, all of them.
But
one of my favorite memories as a child was, for some reason, in Chicago, they would routinely play the original King Kong on like a Friday or Saturday night at like 10:30 at night. And my dad would make me and my brother go to sleep early so he could wake us up to watch it with him.
My mom got me into horror.
And I was just
same with me.
Well,
I used to sneak down and watch through the bars on the stairs. I used to watch through the railing of the stairs.
Okay, this is why.
You were smarter than me. That was the first horror movie I saw, and I hid under the TV tray. Since I couldn't see them, they couldn't see me. And to make it worse, like the hand is going up, stealing my mother's cookie. So finally, by the time they reached Skull Island, my mother said, "Why don't you just come out and sit with us?"
That was
But I'll tell you,
me. They got
that
tired of me.
scared the shit out of me. The scene when Fay Ray and the other guy are in the room and Kong is looking through the window. We lived on a second floor. I slept for months afterwards with the curtains drawn at night.
Okay, I hate to be the pig, but
Dad,
come on, Ricky, you know this is coming. Fay Ray, raw.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jen.
Hey, I don't care. This is your
I know you
opinion.
don't.
You're perfectly entitled to it.
we're a very simple breed, us men.
You guys are. If
Yeah,
I
we
know
are.
that I can get by showing some tatas or showing some ass, if I know I can get what I want, guess what? I'm using it. So go ahead.
I had to get to 40 years old before I realized, stop giving money to this women for this. Got the internet now.
I'm still giving money.
My sister's got a degree in that, and we were driving along, and she got pulled over by a state trooper. And I swear to God, as he was coming up, my sister dropped her IQ 50 points, and her chest went out. She got away with a warning.
You guys are a simple breed.
I should have recorded that day at the bar.
Going full circle back to the conspiracies, there's a cabal of women running the world. They just put stupid ring in front.
Primo cleavage and fake no intelligence.
Yeah.
Come on, let's face it. Women can give birth to 3 babies, have no legs, no arms, and they'll still do the housework and cook dinner. We get a cold and we're wiped out for a week. So.
Okay, that's the one thing I could say I'm different from everybody else because I spend enough time alone. Like I fuck everybody. Okay, if I'm not gonna handle it, I can't rely on anybody else.
Now wait a minute though. You're still a whiny little bitch when you get sick.
Yes, we are.
I know this from experience, Jason.
I got shit to do, and you know it.
you might have got shit done, but you were still a whiny little bitch.
Yeah.
One of the things
need people to know that we're in pain, though. If people don't know, it hurts us more.
Oh my
It's
God,
like a
you're running
pressure
my
relief
kid,
valve.
I
Yeah,
only,
it's like a-
I
gotta
only
tell
whined
you.
when I was building your store sick. Because
I know.
you were sitting there bitching about other shit. And I'm like, I'm lifting all the heavy stuff. Shut the fuck up.
I'm like, I'm so tired. And you're like, I've been up for 3 days working on this room.
And I've got
I
the
asked a
stomach flu.
female friend of mine once, what's it like giving birth? Honestly, I'm just curious, the pain level. And she looked at me and thought for a second, and she said, imagine pissing a bowling ball.
Yeah. Have you ever had a kidney stone?
No.
I would
No,
rather, I've
thankfully
had
not.
kidney stones and I've had 3 children, no drugs. I would rather have children than have a kidney stone.
Yeah, my
My
only question is,
mother
why did you
weighs
wait for- why did you wait
99
till you tried
pounds,
drugs?
soaking wet.
And you were
She
10?
had me naturally. By the time they realized they couldn't perform the C-section, 36 hours in labors, I was 13 pounds at birth.
Holy crap.
Jesus.
Yeah. And for like,
Oh my
You're
God.
You're like
that just hurt. You
6
know how
months
we were
old.
talking about earlier
Come
about
out.
you guys getting kicked in the
Toddler.
nuts?
yeah.
That hurt my insides.
Oh.
I'm going to tell you right now that's equivalent. Your nut story is equivalent to when we
And-
hear how big children are at birth.
Yeah. And my mother, for like 40 years, I almost died giving birth to you.
Oh, she never let you live it down.
No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a sob story.
We
At
will
least
not.
it's a sob story. Because I
I
waited
will
about-
tell you, my fiance on Monday, first house that we did, sprains his ankle at our first house that we were doing our pools at. So I have
Took
to
care
sit
of
here,
it.
and I'm trying not to laugh as he's sitting there talking about his foot's broken. Oh my God. Oh my God. So
Right.
we're sitting there and I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I don't know. Don't talk to me. I'm not okay yet." we continue on our work day. He sprained it. It is a rather large ankle. It looks like a cankle. And I've been doing my fiance diligence and being nice and helping him out and all, but he's the biggest fucking baby I've ever seen.
I think a lot of us are.
Look, see, if
guys.
you would have messaged me when that happened, I would have told you to pretend like you're splinting it while things are going. No, you need to
I
do
wanted
some
to
work.
pretend
You
like
didn't
I
want
was
it.
deaf. That's what I wanted to pretend like. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What's happening?
Just next time, take them to the ER, drop them off, and say, call me when they're done.
Call me when you're done. I'm gonna go do work.
Yeah, and then 8 hours later, he'll call you.
Can you imagine what
Because he'll
Arnold's
go,
wife
sprained
had to go
ankle,
through?
you're at the
Yeah.
bottom of the list.
Oh, he's milking it.
Can
He
you guys
walked out
imagine what
today.
Arnold's wife has to go through? He's like making these action movies. He goes like, I got a fucking blister on my finger. I can't do anything.
Oh no! Meanwhile, we're sitting
But
there
you
walking
just wiped
around.
out a jungle full of,
Yeah.
insurgents.
We're
Naturally.
plopping babies out. I've got hemorrhoids like crazy and a migraine, and I'm about
I
to
wasn't going
puke
for the
and-
hemorrhoid,
No,
but thank you.
no. You're already a big enough fan.
Somehow it always comes back to ass, doesn't it?
Because I know Jason likes the ass.
God damn
I'm
it. See,
just
it's
saying.
always that one. It's always this
And
kid.
on that note,
No.
Please don't
no.
stop.
we
Just
have
keep
reached the end of the 7th hour.
Any other note but that. God, I hate you.
The only 2 people who have bid on the collector are you 2.
On what?
The
Oh,
collector.
The collector.
okay.
Unless Dan wants, yes. There are 2 copies of the collector that was written by 6 of us that have all 6 authors' signatures on it.
Oh, is
And
it
there's
still
only
open for
2.
bidding?
You can.
Damn it.
What's the top bid?
$50.
5001.
Hey, I was just got a price right.
Shut the fuck up.
I just got through watching Hell on Wheels, and the bar guy. He's always like, "All right, 101."
One. Are we on the prices right? I bid $1, Bob.
I would love the autograph, but guess what? I'm just going to pick it up. And by the way, Scott, I'm catching up on your books. Ricky, I have to catch up on your books.
Yeah, don't bother, mate. They're not very good
lately that I can't read anymore. And I have to go to Audible. And I hope I don't offend anybody right now, but I have to tell you, this is what I'm listening to. Thompson.
That name rings a bell. I'm sure I know him.
I felt like I could.
I don't know. He's this weird guy, puddle pirate. I don't know.
But
anyway, the reason I love this one is because a lot of the shit happens on the ship, and I'm an ex-Navy, and I always thought it's like when you're. Scott wrote a story too. When you're on a ship, you got nowhere to fucking go. Yeah. You either jump off and drown, or get eaten. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Yeah. Because I'm not really sure what's in this cup, but I keep refilling it. So listen, Scott, Ricky, everybody, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
When's your book coming out? I keep seeing your feeds. Like I wrote 1,500 words. I'm like, Jen is, not a happy girl.
It's okay. She's getting her encouragement. Get your shit together. Come on, you got stuff to do.
Look, and no play makes Jen a dull girl, whatever.
Yes. I am looking to have my book out. Hopefully, I hope to have everything done by November so that it can get printed in December and so that I'm ready to go hang out with Jeff in February.
And nice. It'll be done before the eating holidays come up. So
so everybody has something to read while they're feeding their fat faces.
Love it.
I know. Now I know, Scott. Didn't you just release a new book?
About 6 weeks ago, Nurse Alyssa versus the Zombies 8 came out. Yeah. I'm finishing up the rough draft of the next Tatiana book. I'm hoping to get that out around August 1st.
Have you guys read these? The whole Tatiana ghost thing?
No, I've read
I have not.
They're awesome.
Fucking awesome.
I'm catching up.
I'm going to.
I started meeting everybody.
And then I'm going to, after Tatiana, I'm going to do the second Chronicle of Paul's book.
Cool.
Awesome.
Jason's TBR list is getting really long.
Ricky, are you still working on that weird?
It's almost a book in its.
Oh, look at that!
The audio version of that.
Look at that.
Zombie Heart of Darkness.
Do you see that bookshelf over there? You can only see a portion of it. It's filled with books on top of books. That's my to be read list.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
So I don't have to feel bad anymore that I'm not catching up with everybody. I mean, I literally think Javin
we're all catching up
because I'm like 5 books behind.
That right there is just
there's only so many hours in a day, though, Ben.
That's my research list.
I sat down once and figured I counted up all the books I have that haven't read. If I read one a week, nonstop, without buying anything else, I'd finish them in about 4 years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's horrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good thing you're
the
done.
audio version of this book is finally finished.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Because I'm actually listening to your first book. I've read all but the last 2.
Yeah.
And I remember on one of the previous shows, you guys were talking about how good the narrator was. You're fucking spot on.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about, and I was going to bring this up.
He was pretty much just starting out when he did your Never Ready for Zombie Apocalypse.
But he nailed it. I mean,
he nailed it. Yes.
Yeah, he's almost at Eric Shulman and the guy that reads for Tufo. I've read I've listened to a lot of other books, and they all sound like they're Captain Kirk with no emotion.
I know.
To the point where they make that pause, and I'm not sure if they finished a sentence or got into another fucking chapter.
You can't do that.
And then the zombies.
So Scott, you only have what one or 2 Nurse Alyssas?
3 Nurse Alyssa books out on Audible. Once I get the finances, I'm going to put all the rest on Audible.
Well, I know
we should start a GoFund for Scott.
No, I don't want a GoFundMe page. I want people to buy the book.
Yeah.
Don't just
Yeah.
give me money. Buy the book, and then you get the pleasure out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
listen, I
Or
buy your
both.
books and I tell everybody about your books. I don't tell them about Ricky. He's weird. Ricky.
Oh, and I'm not.
I'm British. I'm British. You know, I'm from a weird little country on the edge of Europe.
Look, we
No.
established
Listen,
this a
I
while
love
back.
all you guys, and trust me, Real 9 Horror Group is going to start doing these type of podcasts. I'm going to start asking all of you to jump in because I want our horror movie fans to start understanding you can get a lot of weird shit by reading. Reading is good.
I'm
Maybe
getting
The wall behind that Jack has built. Those are all great, independently published books.
Yeah. Jack
You
has
look at
just
you
an
look at
amazing
well,
array.
you look at Hollywood, and all they're doing is remakes and superhero movies, and
rehashing
reboots, and
the same old
yeah,
shit.
same old bullshit.
They're dying.
I had a friend of mine who's a screenwriter, and I asked him, why don't the studios make new stuff? And he said, and it makes sense, they take a movie that we love, that nobody in their 20s has ever seen. They remake it. Not only and they put like Chris Pratt or somebody in it, not only does this current generation go see it, but all of us go to see it to compare it to the original movie.
I don't.
Oh,
Right.
No, I don't either.
Okay, here's
And
the
I think
thing.
that model's dying out as well. I don't think that's going to work going forward.
No, I think I'm probably in the minority there. I know Ethan Hawke recently said something about it, like when they were interviewing him about Moon Knight.
Mhm.
Just the whole thing. I'll go into a movie. I don't give a shit what it's based on, what it came from, if it's a remake or not. If I enjoyed it, that's all that I care about.
Yeah.
I don't give
and
a
we're
damn
not
if
in-
it was bad or good or what the critics say or literally anybody else I'm sitting with. Jen can attest to this.
Mhm.
I will tell people I'm sitting with to go fuck themselves. But, like, if
Well,
I
I
had
love
time, if I had
the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
as long as
I liked it.
It's not a bad movie.
as long as I just forgot it was Godzilla, it was a giant prehistoric monster movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
so listen,
There you go.
I agree with you, Scott. Only it was so far away from Godzilla. I was happy, and I love that movie because I call it Reptar.
Yeah.
By the way,
What was that Danish one they made back in the 60s?
Reptilicus?
Reptilicus?
Yes.
Yep, Reptilicus.
Love that. One of my
Me
favorite
too.
old movies.
Why do I have to
Um,
write that theme?
I bring this up, and I know we're short on time. Have you guys seen The Sadness, which is on
Yes.
Shudder?
Not yet.
No,
No,
I've
no,
been
no.
hearing about it. I want to get to it.
Yeah, I
All
want
right,
to see it.
since we're all readers, I did some research and I found a comic that it is based on, and I bought volume 1. Here it is.
Oh,
Frost.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
I'm trying
pretty.
to make it straight. You know, if I move this over to show you my TV, my TV is literally hung like fucking what's his name? Okay, joke's gone. My TV's crooked, but it's like Tim Burton movie. My TV's crooked, but
No.
it's Tim Burton style.
Yeah.
No, see that movie. It is fucking bizarre. I mean, there is a few
same three
scenes.
people in it every time.
There's a few scenes where the blood is like, oh, come on, there's not that much blood in the
I
human
know.
body. But the whole movie is just, you can't believe they went there.
Well, for me as a horror
Really
fan,
looking
and
forward to it even more now.
I watched way too many movies, but this movie made me uncomfortable. Just like the remake, and I know you all hate it, the remake of Day of the Dead, the fucking guy that turns into a zombie. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Scott.
We don't talk about that
I
film.
was so uncomfortable. But yeah, the sadness. You guys better put the pens on. You have no idea what's coming to you.
Alrighty then.
And the
Now
one thing that
that
got me
now that
was,
he said that, I'm gonna make sure I'm eating Mexican food and downing tequila.
Well, here's
the
the
one
thing.
thing I want to say, and I'm not going to give anything away, the scene on the subway bothered me because I could see it actually happening.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You know, I'm looking and thinking to myself, that could happen in New York City.
That's
It
dark.
could.
Yeah.
That's
So
dark.
obviously, you're all going to jump in on the Real 9 stuff.
Yeah.
And you're gonna finally get to meet creepy Uncle Kevin. I don't know why he calls himself that. It kind of frightens me, but I've known him for fucking ever.
That's what his niece and nephews call him.
That's what the local.
I love you guys, man. Ricky,
Thank
Scott, Jeff,
You too, dude.
Jen, Jen's friend.
And thanks
Hey, it's
to
all
all
good.
of you guys.
I'm only here with her credibility.
Thanks to all of you guys. Thanks to everybody that showed up today. This has been 7 hours of pure fun.
Yeah.
And I missed out on most of it. Because I had to go out and save the world from water damage.
Oh, you bastard.
That's why they made YouTube.
Priorities, Dan. Priorities.
I'm not an author yet with the rest of you guys, but I respect everything you do, and I get a kick out of just talking to your assholes. So.
I'm not an author. I don't write. It's lucky I can even speak.
Believe me, yeah. Because every time I talk to you guys, I'm halfway through a bottle of whiskey. So yeah, I'm lucky. I'm in the same boat.
I'm still saying we got to do one of these shows while we're all drinking.
Oh,
Agreed.
wait.
Absolutely. Well,
hold on. We
this
weren't supposed
was technically the 8th padded room. The 10th padded room. That might be a good excuse
That
for
might be a
everybody
good
to drink.
excuse.
Who needs an excuse?
I'm
It
just
needs,
saying,
it needs a
just
special title.
putting it out there.
Jen, we
Padded
got to
room.
account for our time zones. We will start getting drunk early, and we will handle shit.
You're
Hey,
talking
if
about
I'm
like
off and I
8
don't
in
have
the
to
morning
cover,
for
I'm
me.
gonna
I'm
start
not even
drinking
awake.
No, it starts at 1 o'clock Pacific.
Okay, yeah.
So it's afternoon.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Exactly.
True story.
I started drinking at
love that.
10:30 this morning, you guys. All right, I'm not going to judge any of you.
Everybody's like, hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. For me, it's like, it's daytime. Let's get
It's
it
like,
going.
yeah, am I awake? Yeah, fuck it.
The clock is ticking. Get it in you.
By the way,
All
one
right.
other thing. Between Jeff and Jack and Jen smoking, I had to go get a vape because I can't smoke in the house. I'm just like, fuck these guys. How much longer? Fuck, we were only 5 minutes in. Yeah, the trains never left, but I gotta
We've
smoke.
had like 8 cigarettes in that 5 minutes.
I'm getting second-hand cancer just sitting here in Britain. Honestly.
Just think of the contact high if we were all smoking pot.
Oh,
Okay,
I'd be
hold on. You guys
traumatized.
I don't know what you're
like
talking
that.
about.
We
I
need to
don't
be in the
touch
same room.
this stuff.
No,
Yeah,
never.
if we do a high
I
podcast,
don't do anything like that.
Oh, not out here either.
They're free.
I'm just saying we got to all be in the same room the day that happens because technically I got some bullshit with my, this fucking job.
Ricky, you
If
look
it's a
so
state where it's
tired.
legal, I could just argue it at that point.
So
I was
again,
in
Dan.
Arizona. It's legal out there.
Stop
Legal
trying
in
to get me
Nevada.
I was just
Legal in
making a
Vegas,
comment.
baby.
legal in Vegas.
Ricky
Not
looks
legal
tired.
here.
obviously-
I'm knackered, mate. It's gone. It's 11:15.
Yeah.
I've been up since 6.
Oh,
I don't think Ricky
my
drinks
brains are
or
about to
smokes
leak
or
out my
anything.
ears, man.
I feel you,
No,
brother.
I gave up smoking a long time ago. I don't drink because it makes my migraines worse.
You know what? Good for you. Same time, you're our goody two shoes.
yeah.
I drink
He's-
for everybody else.
Give me a line of
He-
Charlie and I'll be yours.
He might need the conductor's hat. We might need to have
Yes.
Jack
You know,
send it to you.
I will be the
When I saw
designated driver.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
I'm going to go find one or make one. I'm going to send one to everybody. Because you know what? This train has too many conductors, and the damn thing has not left the
Ever.
station.
Ever.
Yeah, it just fucking the whole train just wheels pop, it drops, and then it just decides, do I drop to the left or right? I'm dead.
Oh, you should have seen
It's
it
still rolling
before
down
we
that
came
hill.
live. 8 a.m. this morning.
Oh, yes.
You see,
We
this
were
is my
already.
I didn't know it was an all day thing. Jeff
I was
just
going to say,
invited me.
you should have
to
invited
one
me
part.
earlier. I was drinking already.
Yeah, Jeff invited me to one part. I got through what I had to do for today. I'm like, I still got like 30 minutes. And I'm checking my email. I'm like, that motherfucker didn't invite me. And then
worry.
Jen invites me. And
I got you.
Jeff's all like, I can't be undone by Jeff. Jen, like typing madly. Anyway, thank you for having me on the show. My
You
God.
belong to Asylum of the Fear, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's
As a matter of fact, I've
advertised the
joined
shit
all your
out of it.
pages, everything.
I advertised the shit out of it on Asylum of Fear.
That he did.
I probably put about 10 posts on it.
Okay, so I don't look at my emails enough. Anyway, Ricky,
Facebook
love you.
provides a lot of stuff. Love you too, dude.
Scott Baker, fucking adore you.
Thank
Jeff,
you, Dan.
You're
Thank
my
you.
God. You're fucking so screwed up. We're brothers.
Jen,
Jen, you're right there as my sister. And I'm sorry I can't see the names, but Jen's friend, you're my best friend now.
Jason.
And
Hey, it's all good.
unfortunately, Jason,
It's all
thank
good. You will learn my name,
Unfortunately,
I assure you.
I'm sure you all saw this, but Jack was done.
Oh yeah.
I love Jack.
He was
Because
done years before we started the padded room, man.
I know. Doesn't matter what I say, Jack's gonna trump me, and then y'all forget about what I said. I'm sure, Ricky, you're like, I just can't get a meme on Dan. He's got like 50 on me. Hand fisting.
I'm outgunned. I am outgunned completely.
Let's not forget the reason behind this 7-hour odyssey is the fact that we went over 500 members of Asylum of Fear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Big time. Big time. All right, folks. Thanks to everybody. Thanks
Thank
to
you.
everybody. And
Love
know
you
what?
all.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jeff.
To you
Good
guys who
to see
have
you,
reading
everybody.
this book, if you want to increase my reading list, please send them to me. I'm
Oh, you should have said that. I'm gonna
Yeah,
send you a
friend
novel
Jason.
full of books to read.
I got the time when I'm not building something or hunting or whatever.
Actually, he would be a great candidate for Audible codes.
See, that's the whole thing. I drive all day. I'm just going into Audible. That's why, Scott, I'm so excited that you're making more of Nurse Alyssa on Audible. Even though I have it on Kindle, I'm going to buy it on Audible.
Yeah,
because I want to listen to it.
Which ones do you have on Audible?
Right now, I just have Nurse Alyssa 1.
Okay.
But I just got paid, and I'm about to catch up on all my Kindles, and then I'm going to, and then I'm going to start picking what I'm going to do in Audible. I still have credits too, which I always felt so bad about using, but y'all told me you still get paid, so I'm good with it.
Yeah.
One really good thing about Audible for writers, if you have a long series, I found, because I'm working on the 9th book in my zombie series, I found that listening to the Audible versions of my other books helps me lock it in so I don't forget details.
Okay, I know we're supposed to be done. I got to bring this up. Did y'all listen to, I know, Scott, you know I don't shut up. Did any of you listen to Tufo's Lost Journals?
No.
Okay, so do any of you see his feeds?
Yes.
Okay, so I've listened to it twice now, and everybody's giving him a bunch of shit about the metric to American conversion. Well, I found the biggest blunder, and I just never said anything because I want to see if somebody else is going to see it. I can't imagine writing a whole series. And my top panel, Jeff, Ricky, Scott, you guys have all got long series going. I can't imagine how hard it is to keep what happened in another book straight with what's going to happen in another book. But yeah,
that's where Audible comes in handy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easier for me to read what I've already written. I end up filling in too many gaps.
I don't.
But
My
listening
writing
to
experience,
somebody else reading it,
yeah, then you can hear the mistake.
I can hear it.
Look,
Yeah.
I write reviews. Nobody reads them. I don't listen to them. But I have been called out by Creekbone Kevin once in a while going, do you realize you just fucking contradicted yourself from when you put the trailer up to where you reviewed your movie? I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah.
That means people are listening.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, guys.
Love you all.
Already.
Love you too.
Love you all.
All right, guys.
See you in 2 weeks.
See you. Take
You're
care.
gonna invite me back?
Bye.
Bye.